All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insanely Year 13, and today we are going to have a surprise, unexpected broadcast. I was not even aware that I would be covering this until about 45 or so minutes ago, but the original streamer for SJM's NASCAR series had to pull out last minute, so I was tabbed and they brought me in. So I will be braining the 500 miles at Indianapolis here for you today. A few things to be aware of. This is going to have restricted power levels, and it's going to be a 500-mile race, so 200 laps. This is going to be an endurance race. Race is going to be longer than actual NASCAR races at this circuit in terms of distance and the amount of time you actually have to stay focused. For those of you who are familiar with the PPRL NASCAR series that I covered a few months back, the rules in this series are relatively similar, but not the same to PPRL. The mandatory green flag windows after the start and caution flags are 5 laps instead, 10 laps in the series. There are also slightly different rules when it comes to how the yellow flags are called. Yellow flags in this series are anytime you have an incident where 2 cars are involved in an incident and one of them has significant damage. The last 5 laps of the race is also supposed to be guaranteed green flag. Now, we don't know quite yet if that's going to actually be how it happened. We saw in PPRL that ended up not being the case a lot of the time, but that is what is supposed to happen tonight. A lot of the other rules, I will sadly admit, I'm a little bit spotty on. This is a 500-mile event, though, and with the reduced power handicap, you're going to be looking at a lot of just flat-out, wide open, all the way around the track. It won't really get a little bit stressful for the drivers until you get relatively late in the runs when the tires start falling off. If we get a very long green flag run, that's when I imagine we'll see some proper spread throughout the field based on driver skill. Until then, I imagine most of the field is going to be clumped together in a giant snake, almost like a giant truly trained / giant pack. But again, this is going to be a 500-mile event, so we are looking at potentially a 3-hour race for tonight's event. So if you are going to join us tonight, I hope you have something to engage your hands or engage you physically for 3 hours, because we are going to be here for quite some time. Real quickly, let's go ahead and look at some of the drivers in today's event. Karting Link 7 is going to be in the Kellogg's number 5 Chevy. Ghost Reaper 617 is going to be in the number 13 Monster Energy Mustang. Boss Racer Pro will be in the 67 Monster Camry. PRG Black will be in the number 9 DuPont Chevrolet. Reckless 5518 will be in the number 24 Chevy. Valhalla PD will be in the Coca-Cola number 99 Chevy. Snipe Killer 2004 will be in the 51 Fanatec Mustang. Swarm of Live Bees will be in the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Mustang. Dub 1775 will be in the... There's no way that's another number 5, but it looks like it's another number 5, but that is a Chevrolet instead. X Alinotai X is in the number 35 Chevrolet, the Halo-sponsored one. The number 45, driven by Lear Art, is going to be sponsored by Wii on the Camry. Gen 3 LS79 will be in the 79 Sonic the Hedgehog Chevrolet. BTR Smokey's paint has not loaded right now, but he is another one of the Chevy representatives. Same with Chris Ruiz 12 in the Camry. Adam LZ5 is in the number 6, black number 6 Chevrolet. Dakota 076208 is in the Cyberpunk number 20 Chevrolet. And Visible Rocket will be running out the grid. He is in the golden purple number 0 Chevrolet. As we are currently standing by right now, waiting to get underway for the race proper. At the moment, they are still going through practice and qualifying sessions at the moment, and as you can see, nearly the entire field has completed their qualifying. The fastest driver at the moment in terms of single lap pace is Karting Link 7 with a 51.7. So again, be prepared because this is going to be a prolonged event. Driver exhaustion is going to have a lot to play with as we get to the last 100 miles of this event. Again, a normal Indianapolis oval race for stock cars is 400 miles. This is 500. This is a full 200 laps. We are going to be here for a prolonged period of time. Even if we go green flag to flag, this is going to be a very, very long affair. Now, before we get into anything else, let's go ahead and talk about the other thing that needs to be considered for the series. That is the championship standings as it is right now. This is the second to last race of the season, and leading the points is SJM Taze. There is a very high possibility that if Taze just brings home a good top 10 or so result today, he will lock up the championship tonight, so be prepared for that. Real quickly, let's go ahead and look over the championship standings from the bottom to the top. These are not numbered in position, and I do apologize for that, but I will do the best I can to run you through everyone's points totals thus far. At the bottom, there is a three-way tie between Mr. Invisible, Ultra, and Von Gittin Jr. They all are at 19 points. Atoka has 22 points. Rye Guy 24 has 24 points. In10 Bai has 26 points. Number 24, Reckless CR has 27 points. Pony has 28 points. Tyler CR has 30 points. Snipe and Kiri both have 32 points. Mikey T744 has 36 points. Meryl Dixon has 42 points. Minarchy has 50 points. Dark Dragon 2842 has 51 points. Xavier has 60 points. Chris has 64 points. Nuclear Stoner 420 has 72 points. Water has 76 points. BTR Smokey has 86 points. Zaloom has 89 points. DC Turtle XFL has 107 points. Connor Photo 8 has 111 points. The Rogue has 116 points. Robert has 127 points. Deed Speedman has 129 points. Gen 3 LS79 has 139 points. Arrow Bibu has 142 points. Valhalla DP has 148 points. BRM Boss has 149 points. Lion Mane 85 has 160 points. Ace on 240 HPS has 174 points. PRG Black 30 has 191 points. Mythical Nub has 218 points. SJM Zodiac has 228 points. Visible Rocket 98 has 237 points. And now we get to this was developed into a three-way fight for second in the championship. SJM Dubs 1775 is fourth in points coming into today's race. He has 283 points. Third is SDR Lear Art with 294 points. And second is Ghost Reaper 617 with 303 points. SJM Taze is your championship leader with 379 points. So he is leading by 76 points. I believe, if I remember correctly, in this series, you can only earn about 40 points in a race. So as long as Taze doesn't lag out right at the start and Ghost Reaper doesn't go back-to-back wins, more than likely we will see SJM Taze lock up the championship tonight. But there is that three-way fight for second that is likely going to develop right after Taze locks up the championship. And that will be between Ghost Reaper, Lear Art, and Dub. So that will be something to keep an eye on. The final race for the series will be next weekend, and that will be at the Sunset Oval. That race will be a little bit shorter, I believe only about 420 miles. So not nearly as much of a endurance slog. But again, they're only going to be running about 670. Cut that into quarters. Take about a quarter off of that. That would be 150, 165. Yeah, drop about 170 horses. We're going to be looking at everyone running about 510 horses throughout today's event. So about 510 horses for tonight's event. So again, it's in the early going, this is going to be a very low skill event. It's going to be very easy to just be manning the throttle and rim riding all the way around the track. Even if you don't have perfect lines, you'll be able to use the draft to keep up with other people. However, as the race goes on, if we get some longer green flag runs, tire fall off is going to be very important. If you cannot hit your lines, the tire fall off is going to cause you to massively fall off. We'll likely see some significant spread in the field after about 20 to 25 laps of running here. The other thing, and it looks like there is a significant development in the championship. If you remember, I had just said that Tazebot is your championship leader, and assuming that he just shows up and runs a few laps and doesn't be the first one out, he will lock up the championship. Well, apparently the word is right now that we are looking at Taze, your championship leader, not taking part in tonight's race. So this would be a very, very dramatic change in the championship. This puts the championship back into play next week. But that is primarily going to come down to what our second place driver, Ghost Reaper 617, can do. Now, of everyone who has run some qualifying laps thus far, Ghost Reaper has the second fastest qualifying lap at the moment, So if Ghost Reaper can go ahead and hold on to a win or a top 2, top 3 result, he can close that championship battle down a bit and still keep the championship hopes alive for himself going into Sunset. But if Ghost Reaper has an absolutely horrendous day or horrendous start, that's just not likely going to happen here. So, again, there is now not only the three-way fight for second, but with SJM Taze, your championship leader, not showing up for today's race, Ghost Reaper, who is second in points coming into this event, does have a possibility of keeping the championship hopes alive into next weekend's event at the Sunset Peninsula Oval. We are still standing by right now, waiting to get underway. The series is running just a little bit behind schedule at the moment, just because there were some people who said, hey, we want to be able to run. Can you hold up? Can you back off for us a little bit? So the start of this race has been delayed a small amount. And I do apologize for that inevitability, but that is the situation that we have right now. So it looks like we're going to go up to 18 drivers, as far as I can tell. Waterfire has joined in the number 97 Night Kids Camry. It looks like Visible Rocket still has yet to actually turn a lap in a qualifying session, but he may be starting near the back of the field in tonight's event. He may be starting in the back of the field, yeah. Again, this is going to be quite a prolonged race, so do be ready, everyone. We are going to go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break now, and, well, what time is the race supposed to start? It should have started about 5-6 minutes ago, but it seems like we are under a little bit of a delay for whatever reason. We're going to go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break, and when we come back, hopefully they will be beginning to load onto the circuit for the race proper here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis. Practice and qualifying is over, and it is official. Karting Link 7 in the Camaro is going to be starting first. Interesting, a bit of parity at the very top of the field. All three manufacturers in the top 3 spots right now. Throughout the grid, though, from the top to the bottom, you are looking at a 1.2 second spread from the fastest qualifier to the second to last qualifier, who's also the slowest. But if you cut Dakota's time off, everybody is within 0.7 of a second of each other. So again, with the low horsepower, with how strong the draft is, I imagine that the majority of the field is going to be kept together as a large pack for the earlier parts of the event, but as we go deeper into the running, we will then likely see them go ahead and start spreading out. And we're real quickly looking at everyone. It looks like most of the field has just about a full fuel tank and will be starting the race on soft tires. There will be a pace lap at the start of tonight's event, so just be aware of that. So again, just a reminder, the first 5 laps should be run under green flag regardless of whatever happens. We are anticipating normal amount of tire fall off, the reduced horsepower, 37 laps in the fuel tank. That is the number we are looking at for a full fuel run. So if you go ahead and do the mathematics for a 200 lap race, if you pitted on laps 33, 66, 100, and then 133 and 166, you could make this race in 5 stops just off fuel. But the interesting thing is going to be what the tire fall off is going to look like over the course of the race. But again, if this race is green and stays green for the majority of the time, it could get very interesting. Once more, reminder, there will be a pace lap at the start of the event here. car field. So 2 rows of 9 all the way through the grid. We'll see them go ahead and file for turn 2 here. And real quickly, just for kicks, this is what our last place starter, Visible Rocket, is looking at as they go down the back straightaway here. Just a sea of cars ahead of them. And then one more, just for serious sake, this is out of the back of Ghost Reaper, who's our outside pole sitter, starting second on the outside row, and just a throng of angry cars ahead. And it looks like the race length has actually been shortened a bit. It looks like it has been shortened down to 150 laps. So not quite 400 miles. So they've reduced the length of this race. So it's not going to be as much of an endurance. This also means that this race could be done in 4 stops, potentially 3 if you're really stretching and saving a lot of fuel if we have a long green flag run. We'll update the stream title at a later time right now, but it does look like this race has been shortened for the benefit of all parties involved here. As the field rolls out of the final corner, it'll be 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field. We are going to be keeping an eye on Ghost Reaper on the outside. He has a shot at the championship landing in his lap, but the points leader not showing up today. Ghost Reaper has to finish top 2 to seriously close the championship battle down. Can he do it? That is going to be our big story to watch as the day goes on. As they come to the green flag. And we are underway here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And immediately, it looks like PRG Black is trying to make something happen going to the... No, that's not Black, that's Boss Racer. He's trying to make something happen going to the extreme inside. Ends up getting doored into the grass. They're not to full speed yet, so there's not too much of an issue. Black's trapped on the outside. Can't really do anything, but the draft is keeping them with the pack right now anyway. Karting Link and Ghost Reaper are still in a dead heat as they come out of turn number 2. It is a drag race between the 2 of them as they go down the back straightaway. Now here comes Boss Racer Pro. He's going to look to the inside. Number 67. They are 3 wide as they go down the back straightaway. The number 99 wants to make it 4 wide, but there's no room. 3 wide now into turn number 3. The 67 goes deep and clears. The 67 now goes into the lead with the the number 5 Terry Labonte-inspired car right behind him. 67 leads now going through turn 4. The number 5 looks to the inside. The 67 is wide, now comes down, defends the inside. Now he's going to go extreme inside. The 5 is taking a more middling line. Here comes the 99. The 99 goes right against the inside wall. Side by side. There are 3 wide again now as they go into the turn 1. And the 99 and the 5 both go wide. Here comes number 13 Monster Energy car. There's a small 5-car breakaway. There's a 22 Shell Pennzoil machine right behind the 67. Now he goes to the inside of the 67. Tries to get a draft on the number 13 as they head down the back straightaway. Once again, side by side for a lead as they go down the back straightaway here at Indianapolis. The 13 is getting a little bit of a shove from the number 22. The 67 is trapped on the outside with no significant help. The 99 closes in, but he's going to go in line with the number 22. 67 holds the outside line. With the reduced power, there's not really too much of a risk of being washed out into the outside wall. The 67 still making the outside line work. Here comes the number 24. 99 goes wide, just briefly licks the outside wall, and right now, outside of Dakota in last place, the entire field is still in one giant pack as they go down the front straightaway. All right, on to our third racing lap, and now we have that green and black Monster Energy car go back to the front. The number 24 is pushed in. The 67 is wide on the outside of 3 wide. In this gigantic pack, he's going to be on the outside of 4 wide. The number 45, the Wii machine, goes into the dirt. He's going to hemorrhage a bunch of time. Boss Racer Pro falls back to 7th position. And now it is Ghost Reaper who is in the lead. Remember, championship is the most important thing to him, but it's one thing being in the lead, but when you have a pack of cars and the reduced horsepower, the extreme amount of aero wash, it's not like he can just get into the lead and run away. It's going to be a long time before he can start trying to pull away from the field. Swarm of Bees, Valhalla, and Alionex are all 3 wide farther back. Here comes Boss Racer Pro into it. There's 2 cars in the outside wall, but they're all keeping straight for the moment as they head down the straightaway, but it looks like PRG Black is going to dike into the pit lane like a repair damage after pounding the outside wall. All of PD and the number 99 has slipped back to the 5th position. They are side by side in front of him, but neither of them had a good run. He looks to try and make it up the middle, 3 wide. He can. That's going to leave the door open for 67. Boss Racer Pro is going to go to the extreme inside line. He's now side by side with number 22 for this position as they go down. Karting Link and Ghost Reaper are now starting to do some drafting shenanigans, trying to pull away from the rest of the field as they go down the back straightaway and into the following corner. The 67 still holds the inside line against number 22. Here comes the 24. He's going to try and follow 67 through. He does. The 22 is on the outside. The 67 goes high, blocks the 22. Now the 24 is back on the inside of the 22. He's going to complete the overtake. The 99 is still on the inside now. Can he complete the overtake as well? Boss Racer Pro has now moved back up into the 3rd position. They are 3 wide now for a 3rd spot as the 24 and the 99 both look to his inside. There are 3 wide as they fire off into turn number 1. The 99 has the extreme inside line, has the ideal lane of choice. He will take the lead as they go, not lead, but will take 3rd position as he goes through turn 1, opens up a bit of a gap to himself and the 24 and the 22 and the 6 and all these other cars. The 24 now trying to hold the 22 behind him, and the 24 has just a little bit of a draft off of Valhalla PD right now. Going to try and use that to close back in and fight for 3rd position. All the while, Ghost Reaper and Karting Link has already opened up a 1.3 second gap on the rest of the field. Ghost Reaper is doing everything right by the standards of an early race right now. It is absolute chaos. The 99 has already been caught by 24, has already been caught by 67. Boss Racer Pro looks to the inside, side by side between Boss Racer Pro and Valhalla PD. Now we see another car look at the extreme inside. Is that the number 6 to the inside farther back? It is. That is the Sparko car. I believe that is the 35. It is the 35 car. And that sea green machine, the 6 car is right behind there in the NWO black, no, that is a Chevy. Then the NWO black Chevy, he is fighting side by side with the 35. Alionex trapped on the outside line, can't really do anything. Now we're starting to see a lot more spreading out of the field. It looks like Swarm of Lives Bees and the number 22 Shell Pennzoil machine is giving Boss Racer Pro in the purplish number 67 a bit of a shove, but they are still 1.6 seconds out from the rest of the grid. So it looks like it has nothing to do with tire wear that is really spreading out the grid right now. It has more to do with drafting shenanigans. The most experienced drivers in this field see that there's an accident from the back, a hard hit to the inside wall and into the outside wall, just like the 1996 accident from Kyle Petty. I believe it may have been Adam LZ. It looks like it is Adam LZ. The car got turned coming out of the final corner, pounded the inside wall, coming out of turn number 4, then bounced across the track, pounded back into the outside wall. Somehow nobody else ended up hitting him, but that number 6 machine is absolutely destroyed and has slipped back to the 15th spot now. Meanwhile, at the head of the grid, we are now under the caution flag for this lap 7 accident from Adam LZ. As the pace of the race now slows down, this will be good news for likes of PRG Black 30 and Dub 1775. They were at risk of going a lap down after having pitted earlier. And now, as the pace of the race slows down a bit, we're going to go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break. We'll be back momentarily here at Indianapolis. %, where after using only a fifth of the fuel tank, that would suggest you get out to 75%. So yeah, I'm not surprised that so many drivers pitted. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are under our first yellow flag of the day, and everyone but the current top 6 drivers, so almost everyone from Ghost Reaper on back, went ahead and pitted under this yellow flag section right now. But Reckless, Smokey, Visible Rocket, Chris Ruiz, Jim 3, and Dakota all elected to stay out on track, so they will inherit track position now at the head of the field. Ghost Reaper is going to end up falling back to about the 7th position now, with Cardin Link behind him, but all the drivers ahead will be on more worn tires after about 8 laps of racing, well technically 7 laps of racing, a little bit more, under pace speed. We have seen the drivers go through about 1/5 of their fuel tank, and they also went ahead and burned up about 1/4 of their tire life. So it does look like the tires will fall off faster than the fuel tank here, so that is something to be aware of as this race continues. Again, Ghost Reaper went ahead, pitted, along with Carding Link, who's going to be on the outside, but now they have a bunch of drivers ahead of them who are all slower, or somewhat slower, and we're all gambling on track position, trying to make something happen there. The entire field's already doubled up. Nobody was a lap down after that yellow flag came out, so this will be a very short yellow flag period, and we're going to be coming back to the green flag almost right away here at Indianapolis. All right, through turn 4 this time by. And we'll see the entire field still double up. Again, all 18 drivers still on the lead lap. We have had one yellow flag thus far from a giant crash, well, a giant, although single car crash coming out of turn 4. And they come through the restart zone. And now they begin to accelerate. Reckless on the inside, BTR Smokey on the outside. Reckless holds the inside up a bit. That will let Smokey drop down in front. So a little bit organized working together by the number 2 and the 24. That is the 80 of Chris Ruiz, who is now there. And look at that. That is Visible Rocket. Rocket did not qualify, but now with a little bit of track position, Shenanigans is up there fighting for a top spot. But here comes Carding Link in the number 5. He's got fresher tires. He is on the outside trying to make something happen there. He's got the number 0 right behind him. So the pole sitter and last place starter is almost right next to each other on track. Chris Ruiz now goes into the lead without too much issue, and it looks like Reckless is trapped on the outside. The 24 has a big slide as they come out of turn number 3, and now goes washing wide, brings the number 2 with them. That's going to back up Boss Racer just a bit. The 13 trapped on the outside, has his outside momentum stalling out a bit. The entire field still in a giant pack. Chris Ruiz trying to defend inside and outside. That's a little bit dirty. That would not be accepted in most racing series, but Chris Ruiz now has to concede, and finally Cardi Link is by. Invisible Rocket is going to go by as well. Chris Ruiz now falls out of the top 3, might even fall out of the top 5. The 67 very nearly gets hooked by the number 2, but now Boss Racer Pro is already back up into the 4th position. Track position meant absolutely nothing. Cardi Link and Boss Racer Pro are already back up into the top 4 positions. The 67 dives to the inside of the number 5. The 5 is given to 24. A bit of a shove as they go down the straight. It is Visible Rocket, who did not qualify, started dead last, who is leading right now. There are 3 wide farther back. It is Cardi Link, Smokey, and Reckless, and it is the number 2 on the extreme inside who should be able to maintain the position. He will. He'll take 3rd position just for the moment. Boss Racer Pro is now moved up into the 2nd spot right behind Visible Rocket. Those 2 are trying to have a little bit of a breakaway from the field as BRT Smokey is trying to keep Cardi Link and Valhalla PD behind him. Valhalla looking to the inside line. Now he gets by Cardi Link. Valhalla moves up into the 4th position. He looks high in the short shoot between 1 and 2. Now goes back down low beneath the number 2, trying to make a move to get back into the 3rd spot. Already, Visible Rocket and Boss Racer Pro have pulled out a 7/10 second gap between themselves and the rest of the field. So drafting shenanigans are the big things at play right now at Indianapolis with these reduced horsepower numbers. The number 5 has a big run to the inside, gets side by side with the 99. The 2 comes down, blocks the 5, but the tires are falling off on the 2. He can't hold the position. The 5 gets back to the inside, turn 3. Now he shoots up into the 3rd position in turn 4. Now the number 2 is side by side with the 13 of Ghost Reaper. Ghost Reaper is now going to move into the top 4 positions now. He is going to be right behind Cardi Link. He starts giving Cardi Link a little bit of a shove as they go down the front straightaway now. There are 2 and 3 wide just behind him. Cardi Link is going to hold on to 3rd. Ghost Reaper is going to defend the inside line against the number 97 of Waterfire. The number 2 is still trapped on the outside. The number 13 has to go through the short shoot of 1 and 2. Now through turn number 2, Chris Ruiz has jumped into pit lane, but we do not know what the reasoning is. We stay green at the moment. Big twitch there by BTR Smokey as he nearly gets turned by Waterfire in a straight line going down the back straightaway. Reckless has slipped down to 7th position. The tires are really starting to fall off for some of these drivers now, but the draft is strong enough to keep this big pack organized, or at least somewhat together right now. 97 looks back to the inside, BTR Smokey. Smokey on the outside, Waterfire on the inside. Waterfire closing in on number 13 using the draft. There are 4 wide at the back of the pack right now. There are 4 wide now in the middle. No, that's 3 wide in the middle of the pack right now. Waterfire pulls up alongside BTR Smokey, trying to get alongside the number 67 now as they go through turn number 1. Can't do it. The car washes out from under him. The 97 goes wide. The 2 goes wide. This is going to let Cardi Link and Ghost Reaper open up a bit of a gap between themselves and the rest of the field. But is it enough for them to break the draft? It does not look like it. Waterfire is still going to hold on in 5th position. He's just close enough to get a bit of a draft from Ghost Reaper up ahead of him. Waterfire will also use this as a defense to keep BTR Smokey behind. Valhalla PD in the number 99 has slipped back to the 7th position. PRG Black is starting to recover a bit. He's back into the 8th spot. Then behind him is Oleantix there in number 35 machine. That 35 Halo-inspired machine now looks to the inside of the number 9 of Black. Can't do anything to him. He falls back in line. Now we're starting to see what I was anticipating, a long pack that's closer to being a big snake as they go down the straightaways. The draft is strong enough to keep everyone together, but the handling is starting to come into play, and we're seeing a lot more sliding around now as it's becoming much, much harder to make moves on track. Another thing to consider right now is that our leaders, Boss Racer Pro and Visible Rocket 98, they've only pulled out to about 7/10 of a second ahead of Cardi Link in 3rd and Ghost Reaper in 4th. There is a legitimate possibility that if Cardi Link and Ghost Reaper are a little bit better at drafting shenanigans than Boss Racer and Visible Rocket are, we could see these 4 all catch each other at the head of the grid. Typically, we only see these kinds of drafting shenanigans at bigger, high-banked ovals like Daytona or Sunset, but with the massively reduced horsepower in the cars, drafting becomes much, much more pivotal in these events right now. It looks like there has been a car that is number 9, that is PRG Black, that is very slow. The front of the car is heavily damaged. The engine is still functioning, but there's a lot of aero damage and suspension damage to the number 9 machine. Still, he's continuing to limp around the circuit. Is this going to be a yellow flag? It is a yellow flag, so it looks like another single car accident brings out a yellow flag. We've not been able to go green for longer than 8 laps throughout the day today, sadly enough. But as we go back under the yellow flag, this will help out Chris Ruiz, who did go a lap down after having to pit earlier, so he will get his lap back, I'd imagine. And as the pace slows down, we are just a little bit over 1/10 of the way through the race. We'll go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break. We will return momentarily here at Indianapolis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway under our second yellow flag of the day, and not quite half of the field elected to pit. Boss Racer Pro and Visible Rocket, who were 1 and 2 as the yellow flag came out, they both elected to pit. BRTR Smokey went ahead and pitted. Lear Art, Swarm of Live Bees, Dub 1775, and Dakota all elected to pit. This now puts Ghost Reaper and Karting Link, our top 2 starters at the beginning of the event, back at the head of the grid. They have gone through about 14% of their tire life and not quite a fifth of their fuel tank right now, so they are going to have a bit of a tire life disadvantage to the drivers who just pitted. But Boss Racer Pro is going to be way down here in 11th. He needs to... Oh, what is happening there with Chris Ruiz? Slid out of line. Looks like he is taking his spot back at the rear of the grid. PRG Black is still just now coming out of pit lane after being involved in the incident that brought out the yellow flag. But I imagine we will be going green this time. It shouldn't be too hard for Black to rush around and catch the rear of the grid. So we should be going green here, coming to lap 18. Again, we have not yet had a run last more than 8 laps, but we have seen some evidence that tire fall off is a significant thing to keep an eye on in this event. Real quickly, looking at X, Alanontai X, he pitted earlier. He's going, but not this time. Waterfire, who's moved up into the top 5 positions, 4th right now. He's used a little bit more fuel, has a little bit more tire wear. Definitely want to keep an eye on him. It seems like he is burning through his fuel and tires a little bit faster than ideal. And now the field coming out of the final corner. So the top 2 are just in the same order that they were at the initial start of the race here. Everyone's gathered up, and we should be going green this time, as PRG Black has caught the rear of the grid. And we are underway here at Indianapolis. The 5 on the inside line did not get a good shot at all, and Ghost Reaper is going to go right into the lead, slide right in front of the number 5. Now, is this duo, the 13 and the 5, going to try some drafting shenanigans to pull away from the field again? Alunatai X on the outside. Snipe Killer trying to make something of it there in the 51 in the Fanatec machine. But now he's got the 97 and the 99 doing their own drafting shenanigans, leading what is turned into a bit of an inside lane. The 51 trapped on the outside is going to fall out of the top 5. The 5 is going to go to the outside. The 13 is going to go to the inside. So Ghost Reaper and Karting Links on 2 separate lanes here. For a moment, it's 2 by 2 by 2, and it is Waterfire giving the 13 a shove as they come out of the final corner. Still 2x2x2 through most of the field. It does look like Dakota is having trouble keeping up. Oh, wow, that's a big move, and the 97 gives a big block against the 99. That's going to really break up the pack behind our top two. The 13 and the 5 stay side by side through turn 1, but the 5 has a much less preferable line. He's going to fall back to third, and now it is the number 99 who moves up into second, right behind the 13 of Ghost Reaper. Right now, it seems like Ghost Reaper is doing just about everything he needs to in order to win this race and close the championship gap down a bit. They are 3 and nearly 4 wide in the back of the grid here. Karting Link is side by side with Alanatai here. Here comes Alanatai. He's going to get to the inside of the 99. The 99 washes out wide. Now Alanatai goes up into the second spot, slams the door on the 99. Here comes the 5 in turn number 4. The number 5 Kellogg's Machine dives to the inside of the 35. Now Alanatai goes out wide, and now the door does not get shot at him. He holds it on the outside line. Alanatai leads the outside line. Ghost Reaper leads the inside line. Now Ghost Reaper moves over, shuts the door, gets a little bit of a shove, gets the car sideways and coming across the start-finish line, diving in turn number 1, the 5 and the 35 make big door-to-door contact through turns 1 and 2. The 35 slaps the outside wall of the short chute. He is still wide as they go through turn number 2. He goes from second all the way down to the 5th position now. He comes down coming out of turn 2, hits the dirt. He's now lost the draft from the lead pack. He's got Adam LZ, who was in that big crash earlier. Now Adam is going to be the one trying to push Alan outside to close back in to the lead group. Karting Link now is right behind Ghost Reaper. Now he looks to the inside of Ghost Reaper. The 5 to the inside of the 13. Side by side between the two of them. The 5 trying to hold the inside. He will. Can he complete the overtake in turn 4? Yes, he completes the overtake in turn 4. Slides wide. Blocks Ghost Reaper. Here comes Waterfire to the inside. Now we see a move to the inside. A big block pushing him all the way down to the wall. I don't know why you would do that. That's such a risk of an accident. But Waterfire holds the line. Commits to the inside line. He commits a pass against them all. Waterfire goes to the lead through turns 1 and 2. Karting Link is in second, though. He's not going to be happy about being passed. He blocked from the outside line all the way to the inside wall once. Who's to say what he'll do this time? Now the 99 looks to a move. There are 3 wide. The 99 went to the inside. The 97 came down. Door slammed him, and then came up and door slammed the 5 in the process. There are 3 wide, but it's the 99 of Valhalla BD who takes the lead turn 3. Now they go through the short chute between turns 3 and 4. There's a 4-car breakaway with Valhalla leading the pack right now. The 99 staying ahead of the 5 and the 97, who are side by side for second spot behind. Ghost Reaper runs in 4th position in this fight. Riding on board with Ghost Reaper, who's going to choose to give the number 5 a bit of a shove. The 5 is giving the 99 a bit of a shove. The 97 looks to the inside, side by side for a lead once again. The 97 commits to the inside. Can he make the overtake stick? He does! Waterfire goes back in the lead in turns 1 and 2. The 99's gone trapped on the outside now. He's side by side with Ghost Reaper. Now the number 5 looks to the outside of the 97. Ghost Reaper has a massive run to the inside. 3 wide for a lead. They come out turn number 2. Side by side as they go down the back straightaway, but Waterfire is slower than them all. Now it's just Karting Link and Ghost Reaper side by side as they go down the straightaway into turn number 3. Now we see once again 97 tries to look to the outside, can't make it stick. The 97 now falls back to 4th in this 4-car pack. It's still the 5 on the outside, the 13 on the inside as they go through turn number 4 this time. The number 99 is going to follow the 13 through. The 13 gets a bit of a shove by the 99 coming out of turn number 4. Ghost Reaper goes back to the lead. Now the 99 looks to the inside. Ghost Reaper throws half a block. Valhalla is coming to it anyway. 3 wide across the line. The 5 is still on the outside. Now the 97 looks to the inside of the 13 car, and the 13 is washed out wide. Now Ghost Reaper goes from lead out turn number 4 to 4th, going into turn number 1. Side by side between Valhalla and Karting Link now at the head of this field. Valhalla on the inside, Karting Link on the outside. The 5 wets the outside wall just a little bit. The 99 still there. Here comes 97. The 99 rocks the 97. Nearly runs him into the dirt. That swerving lets the 5 maintain more straight line speed. Here comes Ghost Reaper. He's going to look to the extreme outside line, but misses the corner altogether. He's going to lose a huge chunk of time in the process. The 5 is still on the outside of the 99. The 5 is now going to fall behind the 99 as they go through turn number 4. And now they come out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway this time by. Nose to tail is the top 4. The rest of the field in a big single file pack a little bit farther back. But our top 4 have opened up a 1.3 second gap between themselves and the rest of the grid. Valhalla is being pushed by Karting Link, whom they are being followed by Waterfire and Ghost Reaper as they go through turns 1 and 2 now. Now Karting Link is going to look to the inside, not going to commit to it. 97 closing in on the 5. Ghost Reaper looks to the inside. Waterfire isn't going to push the issue, but the 97 will push the issue against the 5. Side by side for a second position. Karting Link on the outside, Waterfire on the inside. Ghost Reaper is going to give Waterfire a bit of a shove. Now he ignores that. He goes back to the outside. Now back to the inside. The 5 goes back to third. Now he looks to the inside of the number 99. The 97 takes the lead as they go into turn number 3. The 99 on the outside. The 97 on the inside. The 5 is right behind the 97. The 99 gets the nose ahead in the apex of turn number 4. The 97 is going to try and keep the 5 behind him. The 99 has to keep the 13 behind him. 2 by 2 by 2 as they go down the straightaway. Now Valhalla comes down, blocks Waterfire. He'll still lead. Is the 13 of Ghost Reaper, the only car on the outside in this 4-car pack. On the inside, it is Valhalla, Waterfire, and Karting Link. And now the 99 of Valhalla washes out wide, slides up, slides right in front of the 13, holds the 13 up for a little bit. Karting Link falls back to 4th in this pack, side by side now between Ghost Reaper and Karting Link, nose to tail, and now anymore as now Ghost Reaper looks back to the inside of Valhalla, side by side for a lead once again. Waterfire being pushed by Karting Link. Karting Link is going to go ahead and stay there in 4th right now, not really doing anything crazy. He's just going to let the top 3 continue to fight it out. He holds on, using just the draft to stay in touch right now. This group still has a roughly 1.25 second gap between themselves and the rest of the field right now. They can continue to fight like this, and it seems like the rest of the field is just not organized enough to do anything. In fact, the rest of the field is still in a big single file pack. It seems like this little 4-car pack at the head of the grid is where most of the action is happening right now. Karting Link looks to the inside of Waterfire, side by side for 3rd position as they go through turns 1. A little bit of door banging in the short shoe. Now to turn 2. It looks like Karting Link on the inside line easily completes the overtake on Waterfire, immediately catches the draft off the 99, starts closing down on the number 99 for 2nd position this time by. Nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail are the top 4. They now have over 1.5 seconds lead between themselves and the rest of the grid right now. It is still Ghost Reaper leading. Valhalla is a little bit wide, but not wide enough for the number 5 to get alongside. Now they go through the short shoot through 3 and 4. Now into turn number 4. The 5 looks to the inside of the 99, gets 2 tires right on the big curb, but doesn't really upset the car. He will, however, fall back in line behind Valhalla, still nose to tail. It looks like now we are in a long enough green flag run that the tires are starting to fall off, and we are starting to see some significant handling come into play here. So now that handling is coming into play, the question is going to be who's got the best handling car right now in these big packs, and who's going to be able to maintain good handling later on. Now we see Ghost Reaper washing wide through turn number 2. Valhalla goes to the lead. Now it is Karting Link who follows. Ghost Reaper slips back to the 3rd position. Waterfire is still there in 4th, hanging out in the draft. Side by side between the 5 and the 99. The 5 has the inside line. The 99 has the outside line. Side by side as they go into turn number 3, this time by. The 99 on the outside has the car almost completely ahead of the 5. He does. The 99 closes the door on the 5 as they head into turn number 4, this time by. 99, 5, 13, 97. That is your 4-car breakaway at the head of the field right now. The big pack farther back is now starting to split down into smaller groups of 3 and 4 cars as well, but this is where all the action is really happening. At the head of the field. Valhalla led that lap as it came across the start-finish line. The 5 looks to the outside, then comes back down, closes the door on the 13. Now he looks to the inside of the 99, gets the nose alongside the left rear quarter panel, gets to the 99. The 99 gets about 10 degrees sideways, but keeps the car pointed straight, but he's really killing his momentum. The 13 looks to the outside, the 5 doors him as they come out of the corner. Now all 4 cars in this pack have lost a bunch of momentum, and Boss Racer Pro was leading the pack of about 4 cars farther back there, trying to run down. If there is another big incident, another big slide like that, we could see this turn to an 8-car pack at the head of the field. But right now, Boss Racer Pro's pack is not close enough to catch the draft of these lead 4. It is still Valhalla who leads Ghost Reaper. Ghost Reaper leads Karting Link, and then Waterfire runs in the 4th position right now. There were all sorts of sideways as they went through turns 3 and 4 that time by. Boss Racer is now within 7/10 of a second. He may be just barely close enough to catch a little bit of a draft off the back of this pack right now. Valhalla, Ghost Reaper, and Karting Link, and now these 3 are starting to open a bit of a gap on Waterfire, but not anymore. Waterfire had a fantastic run through turn number 1. He pulls right to the rear bumper of Karting Link in 3rd position. Valhalla still leads Ghost Reaper. A little bit of a twitch from the 99, but they all keep it straight as they head down the back straightaway. Now the number 5 looks to the inside, is not going to commit to it. Now he looks back to the inside halfway down. Again, not willing to commit to it yet. The top 4 all stay nose to tail. They're trying to do some draft shenanigans, the 4 of them, to get away from the 4-car pack of Boss Racer Pro, Visible Rocket, BTR Smokey. So that is not a 4-car pack, that is a 3-car pack. My apologies, but there is a 3-car pack trying to close in on this group of 4, and it looks like they've just about caught them. Indeed, it does seem like they have just about caught them now as they go down the front straightaway once again. As they come across the line, it will start the 30th lap, 29th racing lap of the event right now. Again, no big moves from the top 4 at the moment, although Waterfire is threatening to do something to Cardinling. Now we see Ghost Reaper looks to the inside of Valhalla, side by side for a lead. The 67 of Boss Racer Pro has officially caught this group, so has Visible Rocket, but it looks like BTR Smokey has lost the group. Waterfire is now going to go to the extreme inside, block the 67. The 67 goes back to the outside wall, and there's no really any chance for Waterfire to do anything to fight back, but he is going to hold on to 4th position just for the moment. Now it has become a 6-car pack at the head of this field right now, with Visible Rocket, who was dead last, didn't turn 8 laps in qualifying, running with the drivers who started 1st and 2nd in this lead pack right now, coming out turn number 4 and down the front straightaway once again. The number 0 of Visible Rocket stays right behind Waterfire. The 67 is to the inside, being blocked by the 99. The 97 looks to the inside, but he's not going to go nearly as far deep as there. 67 and 99 have an absolutely awful run going to turn number 1. The 99 is trapped on the outside. He goes nearly into the outside wall as they come out turn number 1, and now Valhalla goes from leading about 2 laps ago to 6 and last in this 6-car pack now. So now Visible Rocket moves up into the 5th position right behind Waterfire. Boss Racer Pro now moves up into the 3rd spot. Cardinling is right there behind Ghost Reaper. The 2 of them trying to do some drafter shenanigans to get away from Boss Racer Pro. They have 1/3 of a second between themselves and Boss Racer Pro right now. Boss Racer Pro being pushed by Waterfire. Then behind them is Visible Rocket. Valhalla PD is now massively losing touch with the rest of the grid. And you have to wonder, is there an issue with the tire fall off? He is at 41% tire wear right now. Big action going on now for 3rd and 4th. Boss Racer Pro, Waterfire, all sorts of things. Now Cardinling gets involved in it. Cardinling blocking Boss Racer Pro multiple times to go down the straightaway, but they all go back to single file as they go into turn number 1, except they don't. The 67 gets to the inside of the 5, but gets himself sideways in the process. It backs up the 97. Now the 0 goes back to the inside of the 97, and now Waterfire slips back to the 5th position. Visible Rocket moved him up into the 4th spot right behind Boss Racer Pro, and now Boss Racer Pro is in 3rd position. He's going to get a fantastic draft off of Cardinling as he is also being pushed by Visible Rocket. He'll close right in behind Cardinling. Nose to tail for a top 4 position. The 5 looks to the inside. Ghost Reaper for a lead going into turn number 3, but Ghost Reaper defends the spot. Still nose to tail for a top 4 positions right now. 13, 5, 67, 0, 97. That is your top 5 right now. The 67 looks to the inside of the 5. The 5 is going to throw the block as they come out of turn number 4. He's going to go to the inside lane, block, and now come back to the outside. The 67 is late getting there and cannot get alongside the 5. Or can he? He's going to do a Hail Mary lunge in turn number 1, but can't make it stick, and this number 0 is going to go around the outside of the 67, and now with an outside line overtake is Visible Rocket moving up into the 3rd spot. It doesn't look like it's going to hold for long. The 67 has the inside lines to come out. Turn number 2. 67-0. Side by side right now for a position. Now 67 goes to the extreme inside line. The 5 throws the block, and the 5 nearly runs 67 into the dirt. In the process, the 0 is now alongside the 5. 0 on the outside of the 5. Side by side for 2nd spot right behind Ghost Reaper. And now we have Visible Rocket trying to make something happen on the outside. He's got the 67 on the outside, willing to push him. Here comes the 97 of Waterfire. Waterfire is going to get by both the 0 and the 67 through 3 and 4. Handling has really become an issue now. As you can see how much more there's a lot of sliding around here. BTR Smokey slapped the wall farther back there coming out of turn number 4, but he'll keep the car straight. We have a 5-car train here, and now 6th place Boss Racer Pro is just about to catch this group. Jim 3, LS79, and Lear are both pitted now. Remember, they did not pit in the earlier yellow flag periods of the race. It is still Ghost Reaper who leads. Cardinling is 2nd, but now it is Waterfire in the 3rd position in that number 97 machine with a 0 behind him. And now Valhalla is back into the fray with Boss Racer Pro. Side by side for 5th position. Boss Racer on the outside, Valhalla on the inside. Now Valhalla falls back in line. It goes back to being a 6-car train as they go through turns 3 and 4 this time by. 67 going to take a little bit wider line. Lets him close right in on Visible Rocket. We right on board Valhalla PD, who is last in the 6-car train. You see they're all single file going into turn 4, but immediately we see Waterfire looking at the inside of Cardinling farther up there, and now here comes the 67. Boss Racer Pro is fast, but he seems to be extremely aggressive. Maybe so aggressive that's to his detriment. It is going to let him get alongside Visible Rocket, though, as they go into turn number 1. Visible Rocket backs out, and he's going to now drop to 6 in this pack. Here comes Valhalla PD. He gets a big run. He goes to the outside. The 5 throws a heck of a block on the 97. Now Valhalla goes to the outside of the 97. 99 and 97 side by side for 4th position. Now the 67 gives the 5 a big door, and around the outside, here comes Valhalla PD around the outside, 3 wide for what is currently 3rd position on the track. Boss Racer Pro was in the dirt. I don't know what in the devil he's thinking trying to make that happen. And now he's sideways, and he gets into the wall. He gets sideways into Water fire. He is still spinning as they go through the short turns 3 and 4. No damage to the car, but he is stopped right in the middle of the racing line, and now he starts rolling. But it looks like the majority of the field will get by without hitting Boss Racer Pro. And Boss Racer Pro had been by far the most aggressive driver in that lead pack, making doors, doing big slides back and forth across the circuit. But if you look at the car and look at them, well, the tire wear is not that high. I guess he just pushed it past his own limits. He did not know his own limits, and it was a completely self-inflicted mistake that has brought him out of it. Now, he did hit water fire in the process, and we have a caution for that. What? But that was a single car accident, and nobody had any damage in it. Why did that warrant a yellow flag? Why did that warrant a yellow flag? Well, we are under the yellow flag for the 3rd time today. And the pace of the race slows down once again. We'll go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break, and we'll be back momentarily here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are a little bit more than 1/3 of the way through the race. Your leader is going to be Boss Racer Pro, and I am very confused because Boss Racer Pro was the single car driver that spun in the instant that brought out the yellow. No one else was involved in any instance as far as I could tell, but he spun. It did not look like anyone else had any accidents as far as I could tell. He's not even, I don't think he's lying. Like, it's not, I don't think it's a case where it's like he said I have damage and he's lying, because he stayed out. He's on the old tires that he was spun out on earlier. So now he's back at the front, but he's not at the front by very much. He has Swarm of Live Bees on the outside, CardLink and Gen 3 LS79 is going to be on the outside in row 2, and then row 3 will be Ghost Reaper and Visible Rocket. Again, the vast majority of the field did pit under this yellow flag, and now the entire field is bunched up again. So we're likely going to see a big pack of cars once more here at Indianapolis. All right, out of the final corner, the entire field is now doubled up 2 by 2 through the entire grid. As they come to the green flag, while we were away, Reckless 5518 dropped out, so he is our first disconnect of the day. And now we are underway once again at Indianapolis, the 37th racing lap out of 150. So just about a little bit over 1/5 of the way through the event. 67 holds the inside line over the number 5. 13 is still right there. Now 13 looks to the inside of the 5. Can't really do anything with it. The 5 washes just a little bit wide as they come out of turn number 2. The 67 defends the extreme inside line. Ironically enough, no one else went all that far down. I don't know why Boss blew off so much speed going that way. But Card Link is on the outside now. And on the extreme outside, Swarm of Live Bees. They are briefly 3 wide as they go into turns 3 and 4. It looks like Swarm of Live Beasts now are going to lose ground and fall backwards through the grid. The 67 continues to lead. The 5 is on the outside, though. The 13 of Ghost Reaper is already right back in the top 3 positions. He is right behind Boss Racer Pro as they go down the front straightaway. The 5 and the 67, and here comes the 99 of Valhalla PD. Valhalla throws it up the inside. Well, no, in the middle of a 3-wide fight. He has the nose ahead as they go into turn number 1, but the car is off the ideal line. The 99 takes himself and the 5 off into the wall. The 5 licks the outside wall. 99 does keep it out of the wall, but that lets the 67 take the lead, and the 13 goes into the second spot. Now here comes Valhalla around the outside again, and again Boss Racer Pro defending the extreme inside line. Now, oddly enough, Ghost Reaper just followed him like it was the normal line, but this means that the 99 has a straighter line, doesn't scrub off as much speed, and the 99 now has his nose ahead as they go into turns 3 and 4. The number 0 now looks to the outside, giving the number 99 a bit of a shove between turns 3 and 4. Side by side as the top 2 rows right now. 67 leads, now the 13. Going to be side by side with the 99, but the 99 got a great run coming off of the banking. Is going to be door to door between our top 2. Now door to door between our top 3. 99 on the outside, 67 in the middle, 13 on the extreme inside, and Ghost Reaper with the fantastically fresh new tires will easily pass the 67 and the 99. The 99 goes into the outside wall, and the 67 and the 99 make contact again in turn number 2. They're going to go from being first and second to outside the top 3 and outside the top 5 respectively. Now the number 0 of Visible Rocket comes back to the inside. Can he complete the overtake? No. Now 67 goes to the inside of the number 22, looks to the inside of the 5 as they come down into turns 3 and 4. 67 uses the draft to pull right up back behind the number 13. Seems like even though he's got worn tires that have an entire spin cycle on them, the 67 is not really losing too much ground right now, so it does seem like the tire fall off is not that much of an issue at this stage of the race if the draft is just that powerful. Dakota seems to be running nearly a lap down. We're not sure what's happening there. They are 4 wide as they coming across the start finish line that time by, and it is on the extreme inside is Valhalla PD, and Valhalla is going to shoot off into the lead, but he doesn't have the ideal line. Makes some door contact with number 5. The 5 gets to the outside wall and takes the 22 with them. They both lick the outside wall, but they're both going too slow to really end up with any issues. Now 13 has a barrel run coming out of the following corner. The 67 goes to the extreme inside line again. 67 pulls up alongside 13. The 99 comes down, blocks 67. The 5 wraps it around the outside. The 5 has not completed the overtake on the 99. 99 still has the inside line as they go into turns 3 and 4, and now the 99 is still on the inside to turn 3 and 4. He finally completes the overtake, just going into turn 4. The 67 is in the dirt. He is still in the dirt as they go to turn number 4. He is hemorrhaging positions, falling rapidly down the grid, and it will end up falling all the way back to the 10th position. That's the second time that excessive aggressiveness from Boss Racer Pro has cost him a great run. And now Adam LZ looks to the inside of the 67, and Boss Racer Pro is going to complete his fall backwards to the field. He will go back to 11th now. At this point, those tires have got to be absolutely screaming in agony. He is at 46% wear on those tires. He will have to pit sooner rather than later, just due to simple tire issue. But now at the head of the field is a 3-car breakaway. Valhalla, Card Link, and Ghost Reaper with Chris Ruiz, who was a lap down earlier in the event, now running in the 4th position, leading Visible Rocket, Waterfire, and Smora B is in a bit of a 4-car pack, and then you have to go back about another half second. Then you get to Lear Art, who is running in 8th position, almost an entire full second back. Then you get Dubs, Boss Racer Pro, and Adam LZ in their own little 3-car pack. So at the head of the field is Valhalla, followed by Karting Link and Ghost Reaper, trying to do some drastic shenanigans to pull away from the trio of Chris Ruiz, Visible Rocket, Waterfire, and then also Swarm of Light Bees, who is the 4th car from what I've improperly called a trio. Can this 3-car breakaway get away from the rest of the field here? 43 laps into the running. The 5 looks back to the inside of number 99. The 13 is going to take a much more extreme inside line through turns 1 and 2. But they all close back up to each other as they go down the straightaway. It looks like Gen 3 and Dakota both have pitted for some reason or another. They are now a lap down. And then we also have BTR Smokey and Snipe Killa, who are both at risk of going a lap down momentarily here. Here's a little bit better went ahead, changed the ticker so those of you watching can get a better representation of what the gaps are through the entire field right now. But it looks like the number 51 of Snipe Killer is just about to be caught by a lead pack. Snipe Killer will pull on to the inside. He will be the third driver to go a lap down right now. It's still Valhalla, Carlink, and Ghost Reaper, your top three at the moment. Chris Ruiz runs in fourth position, but has Visible Rocket and Swarm of Bees behind. Looks like Waterfire has lost touch with the group. He has now been caught by Lear Art, and it looks like Waterfire is just hemorrhaging time right now. Don't know why he's got fresh tires, but he seems to be falling backwards at the moment. Waterfire and Dubs now both more than 2 seconds out of the lead. So now as our leaders have caught traffic, we are starting to see a lot more spreading out of the field as some drivers are having better time getting through traffic than others. Visible Rocket now closes in on Snipe Killer. Looks to the outside, looks to the inside, the short shoot between turns 3 and 4, but it looks like he's going to have to commit to the inside. The 51 slides out wide, going through turn 4 there, and it looks like we've had our second disconnect of the event. Dakota has now left the field at this stage of the event. We'll try to reach out to both Dakota and Reckless, see if either of them have anything they want to say about their early disconnect from the event as we are closing in on the 1/3 distance of this race. It looks like Lear Art may have the ability to close in on Visible Rocket thanks to a little bit of drafting shenanigans, but it is Swarm of Live Bees, to be fair, who has now moved up into the 4th position, and then Chris Ruiz has now moved into the 5th spot right now, but it's still Valhalla, Cardlink, and Ghost Reaper 1, 2, 3 at the head of the field. We have a big trolley train pretty much, a big snake of cars going down the front straightaway right now. Leading it at the moment is Swarm of Live Bees. No, that's not Swarm of Live Bees leading it. That's the number 2. Is that Smokey? It is. It is actually BTR Smokey, a lap car that's leading this big train of lead lap cars right now. And now the 22 looks to the inside of the 2. The 0 is going to follow the 22, but it looks like Chris Ruiz is going to go the outside. They were going to go 3 wide, split the number 2 on the inside and the outside. And now here comes Snipe Killer. Snipe Killer gets into it. Snipe Killer just dive bombs the number 2 into the corner. Snipe Killer just intentionally wrecked the number 2 of BTR Smokey going into turn 3. Don't know what's going on there, but now Smokey's car has some heavy damage, and I don't think he's the only one. I think Snipe Killer may have some heavy damage. No, Snipe Killer has no damage, but an intentional accident there between BTR Smokey and Snipe Killer. At the head of the field, we stay green though. Valhalla leads, followed by Carlink and Ghost Reaper. I can't care to say that I understand how these yellow flag rules work in this series. I feel like I'm watching PPRL again, where it seems like I see things that should be a yellow, they're not, and then things that shouldn't be a yellow are. The 99 is still being pushed by the 5. And then you have the 13 just a little bit behind them right now. Valhalla continues to lead over Karting Link, and Ghost Reaper runs right behind Karting Link at the moment. Now the 5 falls off of the 99 just a little bit. Valhalla throws a big block to the inside. Karting Link is committing to the inside line though. Ghost Reaper is by. Now I have to wonder, is there any issue with tire fall off? Carlink 19.9% on the tires right now. Then we have Ghost Reaper, who's running in the 2nd spot at the moment, 20% on his tires. And then we have Valhalla, who is leading. Valhalla is at 20% as well. So it seems like the tire wear is all pretty even between these 3 at the moment. Carlink coming to the extreme inside will let him get alongside the 13, but then he backs way off going into turn 3. Why is Karting Link slow? Karting Link is slowing. He is slowing and now massively dropping backwards through the grid. We do not know why. We don't know what the reason is, but Karting Link, who was in that lead trio, has now dropped off the pace significantly and has fallen down to the 10th spot on track. Whatever is the reason for this, we do not know, but now it is a 2-car breakaway at the head of the field. Valhalla leading Ghost Reaper, with Boss Racer Pro leading Visible Rocket, Lear Art, and Swarm of Live Bees in a 4-car train a little bit farther back. And somehow Boss Racer Pro is still out here, despite tires are at 59% wear. He's going to have to come into the pit soon, just due to tire fall off. Could we finally have a long green flag run to really let the field get spread out and let some strategy have some play in how this race works? The 0 looks to the inside of the 67. Can't make anything of it. A little bit of a lick on the outside wall farther back there, but it doesn't look like it's anything too bad. Karting Link has already rebounded back to 7th position, so now he is leading Waterfire, the two of them trying to have a little bit of a 2-car pack to close in on the 4-car group ahead. But it is Ghost Reaper and Valhalla running 1-2 at the moment. And even at that, Valhalla is now losing ground to Ghost Reaper. It is about 0.3 of a second, although the draft will let Valhalla close the gap back down. But now we have the question of, can Boss Racer Pro in this gap, in this train of 4 cars, can he run down that lead duo? Valhalla has now caught Ghost Reaper once again. So that big quarter-second gap between Ghost Reaper and Valhalla now means nothing. The draft is just so powerful. You can fall off a quarter of a second and then just mat the throttle down the straightaway and immediately close the gap right back down. 13 cars still on the lead lap, and of those 13 cars, all of them are still within 6.5 seconds of your leader right now. Ghost Reaper is now being held up by BTR Smokey, who was wrecked just a few laps ago. Was involved in what looked like an intentional wreck between himself and Snipe Killer, and now he is holding up the leaders. He's going to hold the inside line, let the 13 and the 99 try to go by him on the outside here. And it looks like that will drop the number 2 car of BTR Smokey now 2 laps down. So the first driver to go 2 laps down in today's event. He's going to try and hold on to our lead pack just a little bit. I look back at Boss Racer Pro once more in 3rd position. He is at 63% tires right now. With how worn those tires are, you have to wonder if him leading this train of cars is just going to be a detriment to this pack, because he's going to be so much slower compared to the drivers around him right now. Right now in 4th, second in this pack of cars is Leroy. He's only got 26% wear on his tires. I would imagine if you put Visible Rocket in the lead of this pack, you'd be able to go a lot faster. Also, Karting Link has caught the rear of this pack right now, and now it looks like Dubs and Waterfire is also about to catch this lead of this pack. So yes, Boss Racer Pro is running so slow right now, it is backing the entire field up, so we are getting a brand new Truly train right now. I think everyone believes that being a big draft pack will let them run faster, but no, Boss Racer is so much slower because of his worn out tires. He is actually holding them up. Visible Rocket finally says, I've had enough. He gives the 67 a big push. There is some fighting farther back as Karting Link is just going right to the inside and picking up one position after another. So whatever caused Karting Link to let way off the throttle earlier and drop down to 10th position, he is making some good hay right now because he is back up in the 5th spot. Now he looks to the inside, Visible Rocket looks to the inside, Boss Racer Pro. Boss Racer's in the middle of a 3-wide fight right now as they go into the corner. A little bit of contact between the 67 and the 5. 67 washes out wide, way wide. He's going to go into the outside wall as they go through turn number 1. The 45 gets by him, the 5 gets by him. He's holding up to 22. Now here comes the 97. He's going to get by as well now. Suddenly, Boss Racer Pro is going to plummet back to the 8th position. Shane for a lead. Valhalla, Ghost Reaper side by side, and Valhalla now goes in front of Ghost Reaper at the head of the field. Karting Link now is back into the 3rd position, but unlike before, he is now way back, 1.8 seconds off the lead. Visible Rocket is just about 2 seconds off the lead right now, pushing Karting Link at the moment. And now Lear Art is leading the pack of about 3 cars. He's got Dubs right behind him, followed by Waterfire right now. Boss Racer Pro finally gets off those burnt off tires. I do not know why he wasted so much time. He got to 68% tire wear, but finally he pits, and he's going to be the only one pitting. It's going to be a lonely chunk of the rest of the race here, and he is a high likelihood we'll see him go a lap down sooner rather than later. Valhalla leads, Ghost Reaper second, and then they have BTR Smokey, who is 2 laps down, running right behind this duo at the moment. Karting Link is in 3rd, about 2 seconds off of our lead pack. Reminder, Ghost Reaper is in a championship fight. If he can win or come home second, he can keep the championship fight alive to the season finale next week at Sunset Peninsula. That is the big thing that Ghost Reaper is fighting for more than anything else. Through turns 3 and 4, the 13 looks to the inside of the 99. The 99 licks the outside wall in the short chute between the corners. Coming out of the final corner, the 13 looks to the inside of the 99. Not going to commit to many moves this time by. Now down the front straightaway once again. Right now, the top 11 cars are all within 6.5 seconds of each other right now. But most of that is just the pack from 5th all the way back to 9th, all in a big draft train with each other right now. things may be calming down just a little bit, but tire fall off will still be something important to keep an eye on, as now we are in one of our longer green flag runs and the field is actually getting just a little bit more spread out. PRG Black and Antonelli, the 35 and the 9, they got into some shenanigans with each other earlier. They are still fighting back here in 10th and 11th position, and as they are fighting, they are actually bleeding off a bunch of time and dropping backwards through the grid right now. Then you have Adam LZ back here in 12th, completely solo in the NWO car. Then Boss Racer Pro, after making his pit stop, he is 41 seconds down, but he is still ahead of the lead pack at the moment. He has not gone a lap down yet, and that may still work out in his favor. If this race has a nice long green flag run to the end, strategy may come into play and track position may come into play. Boss Racer Pro, being on a radically alternate strategy compared to everyone else, may be in a good position, but he needs to keep his aggression to a minimum and just focus on knocking out good laps. The lapped car of BTR Smokey has gotten by Ghost Reaper. Now he runs behind the number 99. It looks like Ghost Reaper pulls up behind it. It looks like Carting Link and Visible Rocket are closing in. So, it seems like whatever it was that held up Carting Link earlier, it does not matter, because Carting Link is going to come right back to the lead group here. Pretty interesting how you can let off for a good quarter of a lap, fall outside of the top 10, and still within 15 laps just drive your way back to the lead of the group. It seems like this package just does not have any care whatsoever on positioning at all. You can kind of make overtakes at will until your tires are completely cooked here. And Carting Link has now caught the 13 and the 99, and BTR Smokey has gone by both of our leaders. He is now back on the lead lap and trying to block our leaders, and here comes the 5. The 5 is going to try and make it 3 wide with the 19 and the 67. Here comes the 0 of Visible Rocket. Now we see a 13 come down, block the 0. The 0 is going to make it in the middle of 3 wide. The lap car of the 2 is trapped on the outside there. Adam LZ now drops out of the race, and now it is Visible Rocket who goes to the lead. Ghost Reaper in second, Carting Link is third. Valhalla now slips back to the 4th position. He may have lost the draft with our lead pack now. So Visible Rocket now goes into the lead with Ghost Reaper in second. So now it's a 4-car pack, 3 leaders and then 1 lapped car, all dicing it up right now. We are now back to Ghost Reaper being the lead, then Carting Link, then Visible Rocket, with the now 2 laps down car, BTR Smokey trying and failing to hold on to the back of this. This is such an interesting trio. We have our top 2 stars in this race, and then the driver who started dead last after not doing anything in qualifying. We are currently a bit over 1/3 distance into the race right now, under one of our longest green flag runs at this stage of the event. And look at this, Valhalla PD in 4th is still outside the draft of the lead group, but he is about to be caught by Swarm of Live Bees, and he is leading the pack. That includes himself, Lear Art, Waterfire, and Chris Ruiz. So our top 8 all within 2.5 seconds of each other. If we start seeing the top 3 all fighting with each other once more, we could see the lead group all cluster together once again here at Indianapolis. This is the 58th racing lap of the event thus far. The 5 now looks back to the inside of the 13. The 13 blocks the line as they come out turn number 2. Down the back straightaway once again. The 5 licks the outside wall, holds himself up, holds the 0 up just a little bit. Valhalla PD is running here just in front of the lapped car. BTR Smokey trying to use some drafting shenanigans to catch back to the lead trio. And all the while, Lear Art has just about caught Swarm of Live Bees. Well, Lear Art and Swarm of Live Bees have just about caught Valhalla and BTR Smokey. Chris Ruiz is having to fight there with Lear Art. It looks like Chris on the inside will complete the overtake on Lear Art. Lear Art will fall to 3rd in this pack of 4 cars. If that group keeps fighting, the lead trio will have a good chance to pull away a bit. But as I say that, now we have Carting Link and Visible Rocket side by side for a position. And it looks like Visible Rocket on the inside is going to lunge into turn number 1. And we'll take the lead now from the 13. Ghost Reaper goes from 1st to 3rd in just a single corner that time by. And now Carting Link is going to hold on to 2nd, but now he is the one who's going to be running right behind the 0. So it's the 0, the 5, and the 13, the top 3 positions right now. About 1.25 seconds back is Valhalla PD, but he is just outside of drafting range of the lead trio right now. And then at the same time, the pack, the Swarm of Live Bees' lead, is also just outside of Valhalla's drafting range right now as well. So despite being in one of our longer green flag runs right now, the entire top 8 are all still running within 2.25 seconds of each other out of the final corner and down the straightaway to start what will be the 60th racing lap of the race. Visible Rocket leads, Karting Link and Ghost Reaper in that order. Swarm of Live Bees now seems to be losing a bit of ground to Valhalla, as Valhalla is still trying to draft for BTR Smokey to close in on the top 3, but it looks like our top 3 have settled down just a little bit, and now they're starting to pull away from the rest of the grid. We have now completed about 40% of the race distance. Real quickly, let's look at the fuel and tire wear of our entire field. At the head of the grid, 38% left in the tank, 43% on tire wear for Visible Rocket. For Karting Link, he is at 36% in the fuel tank, 43% tire wear. He'll have to pit sooner for fuel. Then Ghost Reaper runs in third right now. He is at 37% in the fuel, 44% in the tires. So our top 3 will all likely have to pit similar times for tires. Then in fourth position, 45% tire wear, 35% left in the fuel tank is Valhalla PD. Then you have to go quite a bit back to Swarm of Live Bees, who is closing in on Valhalla right now. He is at 46% tire wear, 34% in the fuel tank. So it seems like everyone in our lead pack of about 8 cars, or lead group, it's not really a pack right now, they're all very even with each other on fuel and tire wear right now. So who's going to try and stay out longer and make something of that, as we are in our longest green flag run thus far in the race, and the action has finally settled down just a little bit. Also of note, Boss Racer Pro, after pitting, I thought there would be a risk that he would get caught and go a lap down quickly. He has still not gone a lap down. He's still running only about 45 seconds off the lead group right now, and he is running an alternate strategy. So depending on how the rest of this race goes, Boss Racer Pro may still be able to make something of this event. Big hit on the outside wall back there by Antonelli, and he immediately has to pit after pounding the outside wall in turn number 4. So that will take him out of a fight that he had been having with PRG Black, and now Black closes in on Dub, 1775 now. So that is a 2-car fight now for 9th and 10th position. Meanwhile, I look back at the lead group, Karting Link and Visible Rocket going side by side again, and Ghost Reaper hangs out a quarter of a second behind them, but he seems to be just hanging back, not really pushing the issue. He's letting the 5 and the 0 have the fights between each other right now. Now 13 goes to the inside of the 0 just because the 0 leaves the entire inside line open. He's going to dive into turn number 4, but it's not really much of a dive. He just holds the normal line, and the 0 Visible Rocket washes out wide in turn number 4. And now Visible Rocket goes from the lead to third in just a half a lap, side by side for lead between Karting Link and Ghost Reaper across the line. It's still Karting Link who led at the line. Ghost Reaper will fall back in line behind Karting Link. Visible Rocket now falls half a second out of the lead duo right now of Karting Link and Ghost Reaper, but they're about to come onto the straightaway, and the draft might be strong enough that Visible Rocket can be right back on this duo before they even get into the end of the straightaway here. Down the back straightaway, and now they fire it off into turns 3 and 4. 15 still hangs out behind the 5. The 0 now has caught them once again. Valhalla PD now leads Swarm of Live Bees and Waterfire in a 3-car pack. They are a second and a half off of the lead trio right now. You can see Boss Racer Pro going by. Now it seems like the pace is dropping off for Boss. He is starting to lose time to the lead pack. Lear Art has now pitted out of the top 8 positions now as well. So drivers are now starting to pit due to tire wear at this stage of the event. Again, I look at Karting Link, your leader right now. He is at 50% tire wear. We're going to continue to see our top 7 drivers peel off into pit lane. That's going to further spread the field out. Now this lead group closes in on X Alanotali. Remember, X had just hit the outside wall a few laps ago, pounded the car, damaged it. He had to pit. He is now going to go a lap down. He is our 4th driver to go a lap down at this stage of the event. Lear Art has now come into the pits. No, Lear Art had already come into the pits. He's coming out of the pits as we're speaking right now. Is anyone else of our top 7 going to go ahead and pit this time by? They come out of turn number 4, and it looks like our top 6 or top 7 are all going to stay on track for the moment. Looks like Waterfire wants to do something against Valhalla PD. Side by side between this duo, the 97 holds the inside line, will complete the overtake on the number 99. Swarm of Live Bees is now 6th in this pack. Seems like he's just vibing, hanging out behind the group right now. Karting Link continues to lead Ghost Reaper. Visible Rocket continues to run in 3rd position. Waterfire is still leading in this third group. And then we have that lapped car of X Alantanai, who's right between them. Also, farther up the track is Boss Racer Pro and Learart. Both these drivers have just recently completed their stop. Learart is still trying to get up to speed. There is a risk he may go a lap down shortly, but I am not too worried about it, because even if he goes a lap down, the leaders are going to have to pit very, very shortly here. 53% tire wear on Cardlink's right front tire right now. Now down the front straightaway once again, followed by Ghost Reaper and Visible Rocket. Still no big moves there. Behind them, Waterfire, Valhalla, and Swarm of Live Bees all still stay. No Tail as well. Chris Ruiz runs in 7th position, but he has no draft. And with that, coupled with some incredible tire wear, as he is nearly at 60% tire wear, it's just going from bad to worse right now for Chris Ruiz, as he is hemorrhaging time to our top 6 drivers right now. So the race has finally calmed down a little bit. Visible Rocket runs right into the back of the 13 there. Zero now goes to the inside of the 13. Don't know what's going on there. I think we're still under full speed. But Ghost Reaper suddenly let off big going into turn number 3 and lost a huge chunk of time, and Ghost Reaper got right into his rear. It looks like we're still going, but for whatever reason, Visible Rocket and Ghost Reaper both have backed way off, and now this has put Cardlink in lead by about a second. Now, this duo is still far enough ahead of Valhalla that they shouldn't be caught by him, so I don't think that trio of Valhalla, Waterfire, and Swarm of Bees will end up catching this duo, but I wonder what the strategy is for Ghost and Visible Rocket to have suddenly let off that massive amount, and now they're trying to draft to run back down our leader, the number 5 of Karting Link. And now they dive down into turns 3 and 4 this time by. Out of the final corner, and now down the front straightaway. Karting Link is now in a position that he can start catching the draft from lapped cars. That is Learart right in front of him. Learart's going to go to the inside. The 5 is going to go to the outside. And it looks like Learart is letting off enough to let the 5 go right by. I don't think Learart realized, though, that he had a horrible line and very nearly gets into the outside wall in turn 1 as well. That just was not a good strategy call by Learart. There's no damage. He just took an absolutely not very wise line in turns 1 and 2. Swarm of Live Bees and Waterfire have now lost touch with Valhalla, so tire wear has really come into play now. Looking at Karting Link, he is at 58% tire life, and here comes Visible Rocket and Ghost Reaper. This duo has now caught him. They are also at 58% tire wear, so this lead trio have all closed back in on each other once again. They come out of turn 4 to begin lap 69 of our 150 lap event right now. Still, no one else in the top 7 have elected to pit yet, and Chris Ruiz is actually now starting to close back down on Swarm of Live Bees and Waterfire, as traffic management is really proving to be an issue for Waterfire, but he is only at 41% tire wear right now, so he can afford to stay out much longer than most of the rest of this field. 61% tires right now for Swarm of Live Bees. That is just not looking good for him at all. Karting Link leads, though. He is at 59%. He'll be at 60% tires momentarily. To the inside is Ghost Reaper, but will his tires let him go side by side? He's at 60%. His tires are more worn than Karting Link's, but he's got the inside line. He'll complete the overtake in turn number 3 and moves back into the lead. Visible Rocket hanging out in the 3rd position right now. He's at 60% tire life right now as well. I think Karting Link is doing a little bit better managing tires than these other two, but not by much. Now they come down the front straightaway again. It is Ghost Reaper, Karting Link, Visible Rocket, 1, 2, 3 in that order. Valhalla runs about 2¼ seconds behind the lead group. Then Swarm of Live Bees is hanging out about 7/10 to 8/10 a second behind Valhalla. Then it is Waterfire back there about 5 seconds out of the lead, and he should be closing back in on Swarm of Live Bees momentarily here. Still, Boss Racer Pro has not yet gone a lap down. He has done a good job maintaining his gap over the rest of the grid. Dub 1775 is now going to pit out of the 9th position, so he will be the next driver to go a lap down, but this will be off the back of pit stops, and that means that he'll likely get his lap back once we see our lead pack all go ahead and elect to pit. Still, Boss Racer Pro is about 47 to 48 seconds behind this lead group. He doesn't have draft, but I think this alternate strategy may put him in some interesting positions depending on how the rest of this race plays out. Still, our top 3 run nose to tail, 1, 2, 3, as they come across the start-finish line this time by. 13 runs a little wide, and the 5 follows him, but they keep it off the wall in the short streak between 1 and 2. I look at Ghost Reaper once again. What's his tires looking like? He's at 64% tire wear right now. I look at Cardlink, who is right behind him. His tires are at 63% right now. Invisible Rocket's likely in the same range also. All the while, Valhalla is 3 seconds off, not really doing anything to them. He has just been caught once again by Swarm of Live Bees. Waterfire has now finally gone ahead and made a pit stop, so he's going to go a lap down momentarily as well now. Only our top 9 drivers are on the lead lap, but it is mostly because we are in the middle of a long series of green flag pit stops. Drivers like Lear, Art, and Antonelli and Dubs all pitted earlier in this green flag stint, so they have faster laps right now, but they're going to be behind more likely when it comes down to it, when it comes to strategy as the race plays out. Closing in on the halfway point of our race today is still the 13, the 5, and the 0 at the head of the field right now. PRD Black, has he made a stop yet? I know his tires have got to be falling off. He is at 67%. He doesn't have a lot of fuel left either, but he is still out there. It seems like a lot of drivers just want to tough it out and try to go as far as they can on a set of tires, even if they're hemorrhaging time right now. Oh, big hit on the outside wall. That was Swarm of Live Bees who hit the outside wall, and now he comes into the pits. No damage to the car, though, but I think hitting the wall was enough to settle them. Okay, I should probably come in now. Still our top 3 stay out. Tires at 68% wear. They've got to come in the next lap or two, I would imagine. Here comes a move to the inside from Visible Rocket on Carlink, and now Carlink tries to block, but in turn that turns into a move against the 13. Now 3 wide, down the back straightaway. The 5 is wide, the 0 is on the inside, and will this put the 13 back to third? It does, and the 5 has the lead, but the 0 wants it. The 0 on the inside, the 5 on the outside. The 5 will come down in front of Visible Rocket, and it looks like Carlink, Visible Rocket, and Ghost Reaper are all going to pit at the exact same time. And Valhalla PD will join them in the pits as well. What of Chris Ruiz, who runs in 5th position? He has yet to pit. He's the only driver on the lead lap who has yet to pit right now. He's being pushed by the number 2 car of BTR Smokey, and it does look like Chris Ruiz is going to stay out for another lap. He's out, and his car is damaged. Chris Ruiz has a damaged car, and he is out of fuel. He's going to take the lead, but his car is out of fuel, and he has significant damage as he is being pushed around by BTR Smokey. I don't know what's going on here, why he couldn't pit coming out of turn number 4, but he is out of fuel in a heavily damaged car and is briefly your leader. Visible Rocket is your leader over Carlink and Ghost Reaper of this trio. It's going to be a few seconds before they catch Chris Ruiz, but Ruiz is coasting to a stop on the back straightaway right now. Very fast coming out of pit lane. Are we back under caution? Of course we're under caution. Okay. Well, we seem to be under not just a caution, but we seem to be under a red flag condition as well now. Well, this is going to take forever to try and figure out. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a Twitch-mandated ad break. And we will be back momentarily here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, halfway through the race, and we are under a red flag for what I believe is our 5th yellow flag of the day today at Indy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are still under a yellow flag here. The red flag is over, but they're still trying to get the field properly ordered up and gridded up right now. We are on lap 76 out of 151, so just barely past the race's halfway point. We were in the middle of our longest green flag run when something happened we did not catch it that warranted a red flag. A lot of weirdness occurred just before the red flag as well. And we may have just had someone else lag out at the stage of the event as well. Yeah, it looks like Waterfire has now dropped out of the event also, so we'll try to reach out to Waterfire and see if they are able or willing to talk with us. But it looks like of our 14 remaining cars, they are all back on, well, 13 of them are all back on the lead lap. BTR Smokey is rushing around the back of the circuit trying to catch the lead pack right now as we are about to come back to the green flag. I'm going to be honest, I don't think Smokey has any chance of catching the lead group here. It is going to be Karting Link and Visible Rocket who will be your leaders coming to the green flag. And we are not under green yet. We are going to take another lap under yellow as we try to get BTR Smokey to catch back up to the rear of the grid. Waterfire, can you hear me? Waterfire, can you hear me? I do not know if he can hear me right now. Alright. Alright, well, if you don't have a mic, then don't worry about it. I was going to try and do an interview, but if you don't have a mic, then I'm not going to bother. As we are about to come back to the green flag right now, just past halfway through the event. Oh, apparently, so Waterfire was kicked from the race due to a power issue. Not a disconnect, but from internet, but a power cord issue. Shame to see that for him, as we're going to go green here with the 0 on the inside, holding the lead, and it is Karting Link trapped on the outside here. 2x2x2 through the entire grid. Looks like Visible Rocket's going to be able to defend the inside line just for the moment. Here's the 13. The 5 is just on the outside there. It looks like Chris Ruiz is back into the fray after the strange shenanigans that have involved him and the likes of Swarm of Live Bees. Heading down the back straightaway, though, is the 5 being pushed by a 22, and Karting Link will go back into the lead. They are 3 wide farther back. The 51's hard into the wall, and the 9 goes with them. That is PRG Black, who's hard into the outside wall. Is there any damage to the car? The car is absolutely destroyed and stalled on the circuit. And I think Sniper Killer may have had damage as well. Well, he's able to continue. No damage to him, it seems. But suddenly, 2 drivers in the midfield crash in turns 3 and 4. We stay green, though, as Karting Link is being pushed by Swarm of Live Bees. Link ahead, followed by Swarm of Live Bees. Ghost Reaper now runs in 3rd position, trying to pull away from the rest of the grid. Black is going to limp his car into pit lane and start repairing it. Chris Ruiz hangs out in 5th spot. Gen 3 LS and Boss Racer Pro are fighting for the 6th and 7th positions now. But already a bit of a spread in the field, as already Valhalla has fallen about 3 seconds out from the lead, and Ghost Reaper is trying desperately to run down our lead duo. I think he just might be able to do it, and BTR Smokey, who was 2 laps down before the red flag, was allowed to get both of his laps back. He is now suddenly up in 4th position right now. It looks like Ghost Reaper is going to clear Karting Link on the inside there and will complete the overtake. "13 stays ahead of the 5. Swarm of Live Bees and BTR Smokey run side by side farther back there. 13 being pushed by the 5. Trying to get away from the duo of Swarm of Live Bees and BTR Smokey. Then about a second or a little less than a second behind, you have Boss Racer Pro leading this pack of cars. We know that Boss Racer Pro is aggressive. In fact, so aggressive that we've seen him run himself and other drivers off track. Can he catch this lead foursome right now? Looks like there's some action. Swarm of Live Bees going to go on the outside, trying to make it the long way around Ghost Reaper here. 5 stays in touch. The 2 is right there on his inside, side by side by side. 3 wide for second position, all behind Ghost Reaper. The 2 back to the inside of the 5, still neck and neck between those 2. Swarm of Live Bees still hanging out in the 4th spot. Now Swarm of Live Bees falls to 4th. It is Ghost Reaper, Karting Link, Smokey, and Swarm of Live Bees here. Now it looks like we've had our 5th disconnect. That is X Alinitai X. We'll try to reach out to them and see if they have anything they want to say about their time here. Right now, our top 11 cars, well, we have 12 cars still running on the lead lap, and then 1 driver running 1 lap down right now, and everyone still on the lead lap is still within 7 seconds of each other. But our top 4 all run within about a third. Ooh, BTR Smokey slaps the outside wall. We'll lose a bit of ground to the lead group, and that's going to let Swarm of Live Bees catch, but more significantly, Boss Racer Pro, is he going to get close enough to catch this lead group and make it a big 7-car pack at the head of the field once more? Your leaders are Ghost Reaper, Karting Link, BTR Smokey, and Swarm of Live Bees. "70 laps to go right now. Out of turn 2, and now down the back straightaway once more. Nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail through this entire grid. Looks like Visible Rocket and Dubs are having a bit of a fight here behind Boss Racer Pro. Looks like Dubs is going to try and commit to the outside of the 67. Can't make it stick, but he's still on the outside. No, he is making it stick just for the moment. The 0 gives the 67 a big Herculean shove going into turn number 4, so that way Boss can try and clear Dubs. And finally, they both will clear Dubs. But while they were all fighting like that, looks like Swarm of Live Bees is losing touch with the lead trio, and at the same time, BTR Smokey is also having trouble closing in on Ghost Reaper and Karting Link. But as they come through turns 1 and 2, turn 2 should be basically easy flat with these reduced horsepower cars. He closes right back in on them as they come out of turn number 2. Now it looks back to the inside. The 2 makes a move on the 5 for position, side by side for second, running just behind Ghost Reaper. This might be enough to let Swarm of Live Bees get the draft and close in as well. And now we are back to a 4-car pack at the head of the grid. Two was a little bit too aggressive there in turn 4. I think if he touched the ball, it was very lightly, but he is holding on to second, running right behind Ghost Reaper at the moment as they come across the start-finish line. Through 1 and 2 once again. "13 comes up, throws a big block on the 2. The 22 still hangs out in 3rd. Karting Link has now slipped back to 4th in this fight, just kind of hanging out behind them, watching this trio run in front of him. Valhalla gets by Gen 3 in a different pack for 8th through 11th back there. So we have a pack of 4, then a pack of 3, and then even farther back, another pack of about 4 cars right now And then Snipe Killer runs in 12th, about a quarter of a lap down. Smokey finally gets to the inside of Ghost Reaper. 2 by 2 as the top 4. Smokey on the inside line will easily take the lead back. The 5 to the inside of the 13 will complete the overtake. Now the 22 looks to the inside of the 13, but the 13 still hasn't been completely passed by the 5. He's still on the outside. The 2 is going to come down low, block the 5, and in the process, now all of a sudden, Ghost Reaper comes up alongside. They are 3 wide for a lead. Ghost Reaper on the extreme outside, the 5 on the bottom, the 2 in the middle. The 2 makes contact with both of them as they go into turn 3, very nearly loses control in turn 3 as well, and now he'll fall back to 4th position is the 22, Swarm of Live Bees, who's going to come up into the 3rd spot. Car Link goes back to lead with Ghost Reaper in 2nd. Swarm of Live Bees goes to 3rd, and BRT Smokey and Swarm of Live Bees fighting for 4th. Drag race between Ghost Reaper and Car Link, but neither of them seem to be able to complete the overtake until they get into the corner. It is Ghost Reaper who goes back into the lead here. 5 continues to hang out behind the 13 right now, with the 2 running in their draft and the Swarm of Live Bees about another quarter second behind. Both Smokey and Car and Link pretend like they're going to make a move, but they're not, don't seem to be willing to actually commit to one. Right now, Boss Racer Pro runs about a second out of this pack. If this group keeps fighting and banging doors, they will bring Boss Racer Pro, Visible Rocket, and Dubs back in the fray. Oh, and Swarm of Live Bees is coming into the pits. What is the reason for this? Why is Bees coming in? I don't see why. Maybe he is pitting now for some strategy shenanigans, trying to get off strategy to make something else happen, but now it is a 3-car pack at the head of the grid. And we have a caution. Snipe Killer pits. Lear Art pits, and we are back under the yellow flag here at Indianapolis. All right, and under this yellow flag, it looks like most, if not all of our leaders, except for Snipe Killer, are all going to pull into the pit lane here. So while we're under this yellow flag, we'll take a Twitch-mandated ad break. We'll be back momentarily here at Indianapolis. All right, everyone, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Interesting scenarios because Swarm of Live Bees apparently pitted before the yellow came out, so he is going to go to the lead, as will Snipe Killer, who chose not to pit when the yellow came out. Everyone else from third on back has pitted, though, as far as I can tell, as we are coming back to the green flag here with about 60 laps to go right now. Coming down to the start-finish line here. And we are off once again with about 62 laps left here at Indianapolis. Wide goes Swarm of Live Bees, and immediately Chris Ruiz looking to the inside of Snipe Killer. Man, Snipe Killer's had a rough time. He's been involved in 2 different incidents. But, oh, and there's contact further back, and the zero very nearly gets into the wall, along with Boss Racer Pro and several other drivers. Dubs is back there. Black is back there. Well, Black is actually way off the back. He's not even caught up with the lead group here. 51 comes to the inside of the 22. The 51 gain a big push here by Chris Ruiz. The 22 trying to be pushed by the 5, but the 5 is wide in turn 4, and he's going to hemorrhage a bunch of positions. Here comes the 99 of Valhalla up into the fray. Valhalla now moves up into second, might even move up into third, might even be able to take the lead. Big contact by Snipe Killer, 3 wide for a lead as they fire it off down into turn number 1 once again. And wide goes Snipe Killer, and he is really wide into the wall, and he is hemorrhaging time. Did he damage the car when he hit the wall? No signs of damage, but he is still wide and has now fallen back to the 8th position. So from the lead to 8th in just half a lap, and now it is Valhalla leading BTR Smokey, Swarm of Live Bees, and Ghost Reaper is still hanging out there in 4th position. 5th place is Ghost Reaper for the moment. Gen 3 is now hemorrhaging positions backwards through the grid as well. The 99 still leads. The 22 is on the outside here. The 2 has a big wash up there. That's BTR Smokey, who gets into the outside wall just a bit. They're all going to somehow keep it straight as they come out of turn number 4. Down the straightaway again is Valhalla, who leads Ghost Reaper. Swarm of Live Bees runs in 3rd. Ruiz is in 4th. BTR Smokey is 5th. And look who's behind on the inside, and past him is Boss Racer. Invisible Rocket is going to follow through, but Boss Racer, arguably the most aggressive, if not excessively aggressive driver in the field, is back up into the top 5 now. Down the back straightaway now. Boss Racer, Invisible Rocket doing some drafting shenanigans, trying to get by Chris Ruiz. Valhalla and Ghost Reaper, though, having a little bit of a scuffle at the head of the field. Valhalla leads, Ghost Reaper wants it back, and Bees is right behind them. Boss Racer Pro and Carnlink have now both passed Chris Ruiz. Their next focus will be the lead group. Boss Racer has not touched the lead for a very long period of time. He pitted off sequence in that long green flag run earlier, stayed on the lead lap the entire time, but hasn't really been back in the lead since. He's trying to change that now, but now he has to deal with Karting Link on his inside. Karting Link to the inside of Boss Racer Pro, side by side for 4th and 5th positions, and they're being held up now by Valhalla PD. Valhalla is going to be trapped on the outside. He'll come down, cut down in front of the 5. The 5 cuts down in front of the 67. The 67 cuts down in front of the 0. At the front, Swarm of Live Bees runs right behind Ghost Reaper. Is he going to try and set up for a move to the inside as they come into turn number 3? The top 6 all run in perfect single file formation. Now the 99 looks to the inside. He'll back off, let the 5 go by. Boss Racer Pro goes by him on the outside as well. Boss Racer now moves up into the 4th position. Bees continues to run right behind Ghost Reaper as they go through turn 4 now. Now here comes the number 5 of Karting Link here. Karting Link side by side with Swarm of Live Bees. Ghost Reaper comes down, blocks Karting Link, blocks him not quite all the way down to the wall. Now Bees on the outside has perfect run, clean air, but he is on the outside line, the less ideal lane as they come into turns 1 and 2. He's trapped on the outside line. Does he get into the wall? He will keep it off the wall, but he's now going to fall back to 4th. Boss Racer Pro now move him back up into the 3rd position, right behind Karting Link and Ghost Reaper. Carting Link and Ghost Reaper have been the class of the field all day long, but Boss Racer's sheer aggression means that he does seem to have what it takes to fight with these drivers. The 5 looks to the inside of the 13. The 67, is he going to try and go up the middle, 3 wide? No, he does not. He's going to follow the 5 on the inside, give the 5 a bit of a push, try to push Carting Link ahead of Ghost Reaper. It doesn't work this time. Ghost Reaper completes the overtake on the 5, holds on to the lead. It is Ghost, Carting Link, Boss Racer, 1, 2, 3. Visible Rocket runs in 4, Swarm of Bees is in 6, and Valhalla moves up into 5th. Side by side for 5th position farther back as they come down across the line here. About 56 laps left in the event. Boss Racer Pro looks to the inside of Carting Link, pulls up alongside him, right front to left rear, now pulls up dead even alongside using the draft off the 13, completes the overtake. He's by there, now the 67 looks to the inside of the 13, but the door shut on him at the last moment. Boss Racer Pro's gotten all the way up into 2nd position. He looks to the outside, looks to the inside, looks down the middle. Carting Link, though, on the outside is going to be the one who's actually side by side with Ghost Reaper. It's actually Carting Link who gets the nose ahead. He'll lead that lap as they come across the line, but he cannot complete the overtake by the time they get to turn 1. He is on the less ideal outside line, and Ghost Reaper will go right back to the lead between the short chute of turns 1 and 2 here. And now Boss Racer Pro moves back up into 3rd, looking to the inside of the 5 again. Now he goes to the extreme inside with a huge head of steam. He's going to make it 3 wide for a lead as they go down the back straightaway. Boss, Carting, Ghost Reaper, all 3 wide. Ghost Reaper in the middle backs out of it. He's going to let the 67, the 5 go at it in turns 3 and 4. The 5 is still coming to the outside. The 67 on the inside. 67 has the ideal line as they come through turn number 4, but the 5 is still there. He's going to get a little bit of a shove there by Ghost Reaper down the front straightaway once again. Side by side, who leads at the line? It looks like it's going to be Carting Link again. But this is the closest that Boss Racer Pro has been to the lead for about 55 laps now. And now he finally gets back to the lead in turn 1. Will he be able to lead a lap at the line? He's got the number 0 of Visible Rocket following him. And Ghost Reaper is now going to plummet back to 4th position. Might even lose that to Bees in this 5-car breakaway from the rest of the pack. Down the back straightaway, the 5 is on the outside being shoved by 13. The 67 is on the inside being shoved by the 0. Again, the 5 and the 67 drag race through turns 3 and 4. They are still in a dead heat coming out of turn 3 through the short chute, now down into turn number 4. 67 on the inside, the 5 is on the outside. 67 gets a massive shove. Can he finally complete the overtake? Will he finally lead for the first time in about 55 laps? It's been roughly 1/3 of the race distance, but no, at the line, it is still Carting Link who leads. Boss Racer Pro still 2nd at the line. On the inside line, though, Boss Racer Pro goes back to the lead. The 5 washes out wide and is going to hold up Bees in the process. Now Boss Racer Pro is completely clear. There is no one alongside him. It is the 67, the 0, and the 13, the top 3. Now the 13 looks to the inside of the 0. They're going to be 3 wide for 2nd position. There are 4 wide for 2nd position, all right behind Boss Racer Pro. 5 has a fantastic round on the outside. The 22, immediately gives the 5 a bit of a shove. And once again, Carting Link is back alongside the 67. 67 on the inside, 13 pushing him. The 5 on the outside, he gets a bit of a shove. Boss Racer Pro defends the inside line. Again, Carting Link has the run as they come down the line. Carting Link is again the driver who leads. This time they're 3 wide, but it's going to be the 0 who backs out. The extreme outside, he'll go back to being the one pushing now, but he is going to be the one pushing the 5, although this time he hits the outside wall just a bit. 67 holds the inside, the 5 holds the outside. The 5 being pushed by the 13 here as they go into turns 3 and 4 this time by. 67 tries to complete the overtake on the 5. Can't make it happen yet. Can't do it this time. Down the straightaway again, it will be Carting Link who leads over Boss Racer Pro. Carting Link has led the last 5 laps. They go back and forth, but Yeah, I mean, you see it. There's almost no need for me to talk about it. The names slightly changed, but there's nothing actually happening here that's going to have an impact on the end of this race. And the 22 spins. And the 22 flips into the dirt. What is going on with Live Bees that he decided to spin himself out and flip in the dirt going down the back straightaway? The car is absolutely destroyed, but that was a completely self-inflicted spin, and he is backed out of the race. Swarm of Live Bees is out now, and now is a 4-car pack at the head of the field. We'll try to reach out to Bees, see if he has anything he wants to say about this, but now is a 4-car pack. Karting Link, Boss Racer Pro, Ghost Reaper, and Visible Rocket, arguably the 4 best drivers of the day. We started with 18 drivers. We are now down to just 12. 11 of them still on the lead lap. Of those 11, the top 9 are all still within 4 seconds of each other, and the top 4 are all in this lead pack, all throwing positions back and forth between each other, but not really doing anything with it. Coming into the party right now is Swarm of Live Bees. Bees, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, Bees, can you go ahead and include your audio in the Xbox party?
Yeah, I already did.
All right, awesome. Bees, you were having a good run of it there up near the top of the grid, but you suddenly spun out going down the back straightaway, rolled the car, and then backed out. What caused you to do that?
Honestly, it's getting late, and my girl wanted to play Sea of Thieves, so I thought I'd go out with a bang.
Fair enough. I won't lie. If they don't run this race green to the end, I'm not going to be able to broadcast this race to the end. I have to go to work at 4 in the morning my time.
Yeah,
so
I got work too.
Yeah, these guys need to be over in like 45 minutes or so, and if they basically have to run this race green. If we have like 2 more yellows between now and the end of this race, I won't be able to cover the finish of the race. So yeah. This is a problem.
150 laps was pretty.
I don't know why. I don't know why these people are running full-length NASCAR races in the middle of the bloody weekday, but it's whatever. If there's anything else you want to say,
viewers,
go ahead and feel free to say it.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I was offered the chance to jump in and do some broadcasting, and I know Taze from a different league who I burned bridges with, but Taze is pretty good. Taze is a pretty good guy, and he reached out to me to do an emergency coverage here. I didn't realize how long this race was going to be, and then even when I saw how long the race was, I was like, okay, well, surely Taze has got some competent drivers. The car seems to be relatively slow and easy to handle, so I figured that this would be a relatively clean and green race all the way through, but that has not been the case, and the constant yellow flags and the red flags just slowed the pace down so much, sadly. But yeah, thanks for jumping in and talking with us, mate. Sorry to see you have to pull out like that, though.
That's right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well. All right, we turn our focus back here to Indianapolis. A little less than 50 laps left here at the Speedway. If we go green to the checkered flag, we're looking at just one more pit stop. Is the 67 of Boss Racer Pro, who finally leads at the start-finish line. It took him about 60 laps since the last time he led, but he has finally gotten back up to the front. But it could be any of these 4 drivers, or maybe on alternate strategy, could someone else try and figure something else out to snooker a win from one of these 4 drivers at the head of the field. And a reminder, for Ghost Reaper, he is fighting for a championship. He needs to finish first or second to keep his championship hopes seriously alive. Anything less, and he is either eliminated from championship contention, the title is automatically locked up, or he will be so far on the back foot that he could possibly be eliminated from title contention just by Taze starting next week's race. 67 holds the lead over the 13, side by side between Boss Racer and Ghost Reaper as they come down the start-finish line this time by. Who leads at the line this time? It will be Ghost Reaper. It seems like while the inside line obviously is the faster way around the track, if you are side by side through turns 3 and 4, the outside line, the run off the banking, even though it's not a lot, the run coming off the banking in turn 4 gives you enough of a run that you can get the nose of the car ahead as it crosses the start-finish line here. Down the back straightaway this time by. The 0 holds the inside. The 13 on the outside. That is the fight for second. Now they both look to the outside of Ghost Reaper. Ghost is going to put the block on the 0. The 13, though, is able to go on the outside. Rip right it there. Hold it side by side with the 0. Gets the nose briefly alongside the 67. Now they head back down to turn 4 once again. 67 gets a bit of a shove. Here comes the 5 coming back. There'll be 3 wide. The 67 is going to run the 5 almost into the pit lane retaining wall. But the 5 has the run as they come across the line. Who leads it? It will be Ghost Reaper as the 67 and the 5 blew off too much steam trying to hold the inside line. And they all make contact with the 0. And the 67 goes into the outside wall in turn number 1. And the 5 dropped off a huge chunk of speed as well. So now our top 4 all have a bunch of spreading between the group of them. Has Carlink lost touch with them all? Have they all spread out now? I will say this does put Ghost Reaper back into the lead of the race now. A little bit farther back, you'll have Valhalla PD, but he is a second and a half off from Carlink, so he's not really in a position to do anything. Already, Visible Rocket is closing back in on Ghost Reaper now. So our top 2 are closing back in. What a Boss Racer Pro. Is he going to be close enough to close back in on the top 2? I think Carlink, though, is too far back. He may have lost the draft, so we may have lost the driver in this 4-car pack. Potentially. No guarantee, but potentially. Boss Racer Pro, though, has the draft. He is trying to use that to close back in on Ghost Reaper and Visible Rocket. Visible Rocket giving Ghost Reaper a bit of a shove right now. Real quickly, let's look at the fuel and tires of everyone on track at the moment. Half the fuel tank still left, and he's got burned a little bit more than half the tire life has Ghost Reaper. Visible Rocket, it is a similar scenario for him as well. Boss Racer Pro hangs out in 3rd spot right now. Similar spot. Everyone here basically has the exact same fuel and tire wear. I don't know why I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this expecting to see something unique, something different, but that's just not the case. Everyone can probably go like another, 18 laps? Something like that. They can probably go to lap, 126? 125, 126? Pit then for 25 laps to the end, basically. If you're really a gambler, you could go ahead, pit a few laps early to try to burn some laps on fresh rubber and get some good laps in clean air, not fighting with other people. But with how strong and overpowered the draft is, I don't know if you'd really want to do that. It does seem to me, though, that Boss Racer Pro has lost touch with the lead duo, so it is now just down to Ghost Reaper and Visible Rocket, our second highest starter, and the driver who started last place in this race, currently run 1st and 2nd on track. Carlink has slipped back to 4th position and has been caught by Valhalla, so that is a pack from 4th to about 8th. Well, 4th to 7th. Gen 3 is hanging out about a second behind this group right now. So Ghost Reaper and Visible Rocket now trying to scoot away from the rest of the field. I look real quickly here at Snipe Killer. He has more worn tires and fuel, but he still has 41% tires, 44% fuel. He can stay out for a little bit. Of all the drivers who may choose to pit early and try to turn laps in clean air to make something happen that way, Snipe Killer is one of the main drivers I would expect to try and do something like that. If he can use the draft and hold on to these drivers ahead, extend it out to about lap 117, that would be good. Again, if you can get to lap 117, 118, you can pit, come out, you can run 33 laps to the end without too much tire fall off. You could pit earlier than that because the fuel tank is about 37 laps, but the tires do fall off significantly, and you will lose quite a bit of time if you try to stretch the tires that aggressively here. So it looks like Boss Racer Pro has willingly dropped back to this pack here, and is actually going to fall in line with this pack, hoping that this large pack of cars, even though they're 2.5 seconds off of the lead duo, I guess that he is hoping that this large pack of cars can actually try and run down our lead duo right now. But if these guys all end up spending a lot of time fighting with each other, I don't see that happening. Down through the short chute, turns 1 and 2. Out of turn 2 now, and down the back straightaway, we're watching this big pack of cars. We're about 3rd to 7th Again, the big question, of course, in this, I would say, is Snipe Killer. Does he have the ability on these burning off tires? Will he be able to keep up with this lead group, use the draft to try and extend? Ideally, he wants to get to lap 117. He could pit earlier than that. If he wanted to pit on lap 114, he could pit then. The fuel would take him to the end, but the tires would still be hurting. Ideally, he wants to get to 117. His tires aren't that bad yet, but he does seem to be losing touch with these 4 guys ahead of him. He's got the draft in the straightaways, but does not seem to be able to hold a clean enough line in the corners to do anything with. And if he's going to lose the draft here, the alternate strategy that he's basically been forced onto is not going to work out for him in any significant way. Looks like there is a little bit of fighting going on, though. Valhalla brief. Oh, here comes Boss Racer Pro. He wants to get to the inside parting lane. So Boss Racer Pro still seems to think that he is faster than everyone else here, and thusly he thinks that he should be the one leading these packs. And Snipe Killer has now absolutely lost this group, and now Chris Ruiz drops out of the event. We'll try to reach out to Chris here, see if he has anything to say. Are we under the yellow flag again? We are under the yellow flag again here at Indianapolis. We are under the yellow flag again here with a little less than 40 laps left. Dubs has jumped into the pits. Smokey will jump into the pits. This will also give PRD Black a chance to get back into pit lane. I'm guessing whatever brought out the yellow flag, Dubs must have been involved in it, but we are now down to just 11 cars on track at this stage of the event. All right, well, if we're going to be under this yellow flag again, we'll go ahead and take a Twitch-mandated ad break. We'll be back momentarily here at Indianapolis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13. Welcome back here to Indianapolis. We are under another yellow flag with about 38 laps to go, 38 laps to go in the race. The interesting thing is this yellow flag basically comes right at a full pit window to the checkered flag. So if we had no more yellows, the fuel and tires here would last you to the checkers, but there will be a lot of tire fall off, and drivers would be on the very edge of what their fuel tanks could do. I don't think anyone would run out, but they would be on the very edge. We started with 18 drivers. We are down to 11 drivers, and due to the way the yellow flags work, all drivers are now back on the lead lap at this stage of the event. Ghost Reaper at the head of the field is the most important story to watch, because again, if he can win this race, he can keep his championship hopes alive, as Taze was not able Taze, who is your championship leader coming into today, he'll still be a championship leader leading today to the massive points buffer he built up. But Taze is not going to be able to run today's race, obviously, meaning that he earns no points today. If Ghost Reaper can bring home maximum points, he will still be in championship contention going into next week's event, the season finale at the Sunset Peninsula Oval. So while we started with 18 drivers, we are now down to just 11. But of those 11, it seems pretty obvious to me that there's only a few drivers who really have the ability to win this, and Ghost Reaper is probably the king driver when it comes to most likely to win this. Everyone is doubled up. We'll be going green here. We'll be going green here with 35 laps to go. Again, everyone should have the fuel to make it to the checkered flag here. They should have the tires, but the tires will be very worn out. If we go green to the end, this could become a matter of driver skill. And we are off once again at Indianapolis. Immediately, PRG Black trying to make it 3 wide farther back in the grid there. Now it looks like Dubs may have hit the dirt back there, but it is Ghost Reaper, Valhalla, and Boss Racer Pro who immediately move into the top 3 positions as they go through turns 1 and 2. Now down the back straightaway again. No big movements in the top 3 positions this time, but now here comes something. Boss Racer Pro gained a little bit of a push there by Karting Link. Boss is going to pull up alongside Valhalla, side by side for second. All of a sudden, briefly, Valhalla goes ghost mode. What's going on there? Valhalla is ghost mode, and now he is going to hemorrhage time as he is slow on the circuit. Drivers are going all over the place as they go down the front straightaway. Valhalla goes back down to the 9th spot now. Boss Racer Pro moves up to 2nd. Visible Rocket moves into the lead, and Ghost Reaper now back down to 3rd. Visible Rocket, who started last, is now back up in the front once again. Is Visible Rocket, Boss Racer, Ghost Reaper, and Karting Link. I feel like we've seen these 4 at the head of the field before. Snipe Killer is back in 5th. Now that he is on the same strategy with everyone else, he shouldn't have to worry about anything too badly. Rocket, Boss, and Ghost 3 wide coming down into turn 3 this time by. This time will be the 0 who pulls out of it. He does not want to be 3 wide going into turn number 3. 67 on the outside, the 13 on the inside, side by side between the 2 of them as they fire off into turn number 4. The 67 has the outside line. The outside line gets a fantastic run. I imagine Ghost might be able to lead this lap at the start-finish line. And that is exactly what he does. '67 holds on there. The 2nd position now trying to close back in on Ghost Reaper as they go down the back straightaway. The 5 and the 0 side by side, but it looks like the 5 will complete the overtake, moving to the 3rd spot. Now 67 goes to the inside of the 13. Side by side between these 2 now as they go through turns 3 and 4. The 5 goes to the outside, will give the 13 a bit of a shove, maybe a bad shove though. The 13 very nearly washes out into the wall, but Ghost Reaper still has the momentum, gets the nose ahead, and Karting Link will get by Boss Racer, and actually it will be Karting Link who leads after he goes from the outside to the inside, shuts the door on the inside line, and Karting Link is the one who goes into the lead here at Indianapolis. Boss Racer Pro now clears Ghost Reaper, or tries to clear Ghost Reaper through turns 1 and 2. Ghost Reaper runs wide. He'll now fall back to 4th position here. It's a 5-car breakaway. BTR Smokey is the 5th car in this breakaway right now. 67 looks to the inside of the 5. They run each other down to the dirt. That's not going to be a great line as they go into turn 3. The 5 is wide. The 67 holds the lead, but now he's got the 0. A Visible Rocket running right behind him all over again. Now the 13 of Ghost Reaper closes back in. Down the front straightaway once again. The shadows are really getting long out here now. Here comes a big lunge to the inside by Ghost Reaper. 3 wide once again as they go into the corner. This time it's Boss who actually has the sense to back out. He'll let these 4 drivers all go by him. The 0, the 5, and the 67 all wall each other and the outside wall in turn 1. The 0 falls to 5th. The 6, 7, the 5 still side by side there for 3rd. It is Ghost Reaper and BRT Smokey trying to run away from the rest of the field now. And it looks like Gen 3 LS might be able to catch the draft off of Visible Rocket and try to close in on that trio in the process. Ghost Reaper and Smokey now trying to run away from these trio. All 11 cars still within 2.25 seconds of each other. Down the front straightaway this time by. And it looks like the lead pack is all starting to close back in. Karting Link, Bossum, Visible Rocket all seem to have just enough speed to catch the lead duo. BRT Smokey sees the drivers coming behind. He says, screw it, I'll make the move now. He goes to the inside. Now here comes Karting. He'll go to the extreme inside. Smokey runs him to the grass, but it doesn't matter. He's alongside anyway. The 5 is going to complete the overtake, and now Karting goes from 3rd to 1st in just a single corner. And now Smokey trying to keep Ghost Reaper behind, trying to keep Boss behind. Ghost Reaper on the extreme outside. He's now going to fall back to 4th. Boss Racer to the inside of Smokey. Side by side for 2nd position. Does Karting try to block? He'll block the outside line. Now come down, block the inside line. Still side by side for 2nd. Now side by side for lead. Smokey trying to make the outside work. 3 wide briefly as they go into the corner. But Smokey on the extreme outside line has the worst lane possible. He'll fall out of the top 5 in the... Well, no, he'll just fall down to 4th in the process. And now it's the 0 to 67 side by side. When they get to the start-finish line, it will be 30 laps left. So a little bit less than 30 minutes left in this event. I'm really hoping we stay green to the end here. The final corner this time by. The entire field is closed down to within 1.75 seconds of each other. Big slides and blocks at the head of the field. It is still Karting who leads over Boss Racer Pro. Visible Rocket runs in 3rd. A lot of drivers trying to figure out where they want to position their car because they know that tire fall off is going to be a big thing. They may not have the rubber or the confidence in their cars to make big moves near the end of the race. Try to make your moves now. Get your positions now so that way you can make something of it. We now have a 7-car pack at the head of the field. Valhalla is back in this lead group. So is PRG Black. Karting Link defending the inside against the 67 and the 13. 99 of Valhalla way wide as they went into turns 3 and 4. Karting Link around the outside. He'll hold the line. He's got Visible Rocket right behind. Boss Racer Pro in 3rd. The 13 hard into the outside wall. But it looks like everyone's facing the same direction, but someone's going to have to limp into the pit. No, everyone keeps it on track for now. Big blocks by Karting Link against Boss Racer Pro, and that means Visible Rocket will be the one with the car nose ahead as they go into turn 1 this time by. Rocket, Karting Link, Boss Racer Pro, those are your top 3. Are we into the caution again? For fuck's sake, people! I have a job! I have work in the morning! Alright, we'll take a Twitch mandated ad break. We'll be back momentarily here at Indy. wrecking under the yellow flag. Oh my God, people! All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis. We're about to go green here with about 26 laps to go. All the worrying about tire fall off, that's out the window. No one has to worry about tires. No one has to worry about fuel. It's just going to be everyone acting up, acting silly and crazy and goofy to the checkered flag here. So it's going to be Visible Rocket and Gen 3 at the head of the field here as we come to the checkered flag. Who knows how this is going to turn out? I just want this thing to be over with. All right, green flag, and we are underway here at Indianapolis. It is actually going to be Gen 3 who goes to the lead. I think this is the first time all day today that that car has been at the head of the field. That I doubt will be for very long, but I'm sure he'll enjoy being up at the front while he can. 79 says ahead of the 0 here. Big moves farther back here. 79 on the outside. The 5 now comes up the inside. And I think Cardlink will be able to complete the overtake in turns 3 and 4. Not quite. 79 is still on his outside as they go into turn number 4, but a little bit of contact from the 99 to 79 will be all it should take to ensure that the 5 will lead coming to the line this time by. Nope, it is Gen 3 who actually ended up still outrunning him to the end. So Gen 3 late has made himself known. And I don't think he has the pace to really do anything with this. And yes, now he's starting to fall back and gets into it with the 99. 79, 99 get into it with each other. They don't get into the wall, but they both lost a huge chunk of time in the process. And now it's Cardlink, Boss Racer Pro, and PRG Black. Black, who keeps being involved in accidents, moves up to 3rd. Boss Racer Pro giving Cardlink a big shove. Ghost Reaper has slipped back to 7th position. Reminder, Ghost needs to do something to make this championship hopes alive, but now, as the race is coming down to its final bits, it seems like he's starting to choke and implode a bit. Entire field all still running on top of each other in a big train as they come out of turn number 4, and then we start seeing moves farther back in the grid. Learard and Snipe Killer having some fights here, but it is Cardlink and Boss Racer Pro trying to do some drafting shenanigans to get away from the field. PRG Black is there in 3rd, though, close enough to keep them from running off. The 9 looks to the inside, then the outside, then back behind the 67. Their top 5 run nose to tail. Ghost Reaper hangs out in 6. Oh, 67 makes a big move on the 5. The 5 throws a big block. They both run each other down into the dirt. Here comes PRG Black. He's going to have a clear run on the outside line. Can he complete the overtake on both of them? He does! The 5 of the 67 spends so much time blocking and swerving that lets Black overtake both of them on the outside. PRG Black goes to the lead. Black has been one of the slowest and generally just not very good drivers in the series, but suddenly late in the event, everyone else is getting too aggressive, and Black is suddenly showing some pace late. Big slides, big moves, 2 big switchbacks there. It is still Black who leads at the line. I think at this point, every single driver who is still in the race has led at least 1 lap at some point or another. Big contact between the 67 and the 9, but the 9 is going to be pushed back. Now Boss Racer Pro goes back into the lead. What of Ghost Reaper? Ghost Reaper is now 4th on the inside line. He needs to get back up to the front. He's got a championship at stake, but he's not making any big, bold, brash moves right now. I think he just wants this pack to kind of break up a bit. He is still in the middle of this big 7-8 car pack. In fact, everyone except Gen 3 is now on top of him. He gets topped from behind from Dubs. Gets pushed a little bit wide there. Dubs on the inside of Ghost Reaper. That's not going to help him one bit. Although he'll get a good run out of the corner, there's just not going to be any room for him to take that run, take that momentum. Black trying to defend. Here comes Boss Racer. Boss gets back to the lead on the extreme inside line. Black and Visible Rocket side by side for 2nd position right now. Smokey is still in the middle of this as well, but it is Boss Racer who leads. They are nearly 3 wide. They are 3 wide for a second, and now the 2 tries to make something happen on the 67. Can't make it stick. There's no room. Nearly 3 wide again. They are 3 wide farther back in the field. The 0 gives the 2 another big shove. The 67 defends the extreme inside line, then has a giant slide, tries to block the 2 mid straightaway. I don't know why you're driving like that. You're building off so much speed. Just take the normal racing line and you wouldn't lose so much speed and you wouldn't be overtaken so easily. But the 67 holds the inside line. The 2 is on the outside. The 0 is on the inside, following the 67. The entire field, with the exception of Gen 3, all within 9/10 of a second of each other. At the line on the outside, it will be BRT Smokey, who barely leads that lap that time by. Ghost Reaper is stuck back there in 8th position. As championship is slipping away, there's a car into the dirt. It's the 0, and now Learart goes for a spin. Learart goes for a spin. He's not the only one. The 36 is involved. The 5 is involved. It's a big multi-car crash here. Now, it looks like, I believe that was Dubs, who is spinning in the dirt. Do we stay green? We may have stayed green. It looks like Dubs, though, has come to a stop on track as the car damaged. Oh, that car is completely destroyed. Do we stay green, though? We are still green at the moment. And Boss Racer Pro now is leading with Black and Smokey, his closest competition. The rest of the field is all at least 2 seconds out, including Ghost Reaper and Valhalla. Snipe Killer jumps into the pit lane to repair the damage to his car. The 67 has Black and Smokey right behind him. Are we back under yellow again? Fuck! Get! Yes! Let this race end! I need to sleep! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis. We still have 18 more laps of this. We are not even running 550 horsepower. We are running less than 550 horsepower. We are running 503 horsepower. Why can these people not keep the cars straight and on the track? You know, the worst part is, this was going to be a long race one way or another. 150 laps, and we were turning 50-second laps. But that still would have been like the better part of like 2 hours. But I could have committed to 2 hours. No problem. We have turned so many laps into yellow. We're about to cross over the 3-hour mark. I'll stick here. Might as well. We're this close to the end. As we go to the green flag. 11 drivers still in it. It could still be any of these 11 because the package means that driver skill means basically nothing. We're not even running 510 horses. So driver skill has absolutely no impact whatsoever. It's just going to come down to who's the most or least aggressive on the run to the end. A handful of drivers decide to pit, so they'll have a very slight tire advantage, but it's not going to be enough to massively decide things, I'd imagine. It is Smokey who leads with Valhalla there. Boss Racer Pro goes below the white line because we don't care about track limits here or anything like that. We don't care about sensible. We've been throwing stupid blocks all day long, so what is track limit violations on top of that? Smokey is going to get a big block on him now by PRG Black, and now Smokey comes down, very nearly turns to 79 in the process. The 9's completely missed the corner, even though we're barely up to full speed. Now we're wrecking. The 2 is wrecking. The 51 is wrecking. There's a bunch of other drivers who've all wrecked. Learard, I think, got involved. Sniper Killer got involved. It's just, it's one of the easiest possible racing packages on Earth, and no one here can keep it straight. I don't understand how this is possible. If they were running the normal 670 horsepower package, I could understand the stress. If they were in the 550 horsepower package, I could understand the stress. That actually gets a little bit difficult to handle at the very end of the tire life, because you're just still carrying a lot of speed in the corner. It's not even that, and they can't keep it straight with fresh tires. I don't understand these people. I don't understand their ineptitude. But at the front is Valhalla, Ghost Reaper, and Boss Racer Pro. 3 of the slightly better drivers in a field of people who are mind-numbingly aggravating, have now opened up a roughly 1 second gap on Karting Link, who is running 4th all by himself. Then you have Gen 3, who is in 5th, with Dubs in 6th, Visible Rocket, Lear Art, PRG Black, Snipe Killer, and BTR Smokey all had to pit to repair damage. They're all either going to go a lap down or will be very near to going a lap down on the run to the end here. 99 of Valhalla still keeping Ghost Reaper behind, but now Ghost Reaper looks to the inside. This is going to be good for Ghost Reaper's championship chances. Not like it matters, because Sunset's next week, and Sunset's a complete randomness. Unless Ghost Reaper wins the lottery, I mean, consider how this is. This series basically is the lottery, but Ghost Reaper basically is likely going to have to win next week and hope that Taze doesn't show up or lags out next week. But regardless, Ghost is doing everything he can to try and keep his championship hopes alive still, as he runs right behind Valhalla. He needs to finish 1st or 2nd to seriously keep his title hopes alive, but they've got Boss Racer Pro right there in 3rd. Minder, Boss did pit under the yellow flag, so he will have a very slight tire life advantage to the end here. As they come down to the start-finish line, it is 15 laps to go here at Indianapolis. The shadows have gotten so long in-game that there is now no longer any sun on the front straightaway. There is now no longer any sun in turn 1. You have to go down to turn 2 before you start seeing the sun again. That's how long this race has been going on for. I don't know why they decided to run a 350-mile race in the middle of the bloody work week with drivers that can't control unbearably simple cars, but that is the choice that has been made. Valhalla runs ahead of Ghost Reaper right now, with Boss Racer running in 3rd position right now. Karting Link is in 4th. Gen 3 is 5th. Dubs is 6th. Visible Rocket runs back there in 5th position right now. Coming down, it will be 14 laps to go this time by, so we should be done with this, right? Assuming no more yellows, we should be done with this race in about 13 to 14 more minutes here. It is a 3-car breakaway at the head of the field. Karting Link in 4th with no draft, has no way to catch the lead group, so he is going to be caught by Gen 3 and Dubs momentarily here. The entire field has been completely spread out after that restart accident. Thankfully, they did not throw the yellow flag for it, and we should, hopefully, be running green to the checkered flag. The 13 is trying to give the 99 a bit of a push, trying to do anything they can just to make sure the Boss Racer is kind of shut out. We know that Boss Racer is incredibly aggressive. He has been making more moves. Some of them have even hurt himself and kept him from really being able to do anything, but he has been very aggressive throughout the entirety of this event today. But it is Valhalla PD who leads right now in this 3-car breakaway as they come down to the line. Actually, now it is 14. I'm sorry. As they come across the line this time, now it is 14 laps to go. Real quickly, let's look at the tire life of our top 3. Valhalla's tires are at 24, about to hit 25%. Ghost Reaper's tires are at 24, about to hit 25%. And then Boss Racer Pro, his tires are at 11%. We're just about to hit 11%. So yeah, Boss Racer does have a significant tire life advantage. Now, Valhalla and Ghost aren't going to have no tires at the end, but it may be something small that might work out in Boss Racer's favor when they get to these final laps here. Down the front straightaway once again. Still no move in this lead trio. Carden Link has settled in ahead of Gen 3 and Dubs, about 2.5 seconds off of the lead trio right now. We're now getting to the point, I think the sun may have just set enough that there is now no longer any sun anywhere on the racetrack. So the track is now going to start getting a lot cooler. Tire temps are not going to be nearly as high. We're going to see the tires start losing a little bit of temperature down these long straightaways. And with how low the horsepower is, the front tires especially are going to be bleeding off a lot more temperature in a straight line. So more worn tires are going to lose even more grip and more temperature in the process. So again, maybe Boss Racer Pro has a slight tire advantage that may work out in his favor. The 13 and the 99 both licked the outside wall. They're not the only one. Dubs hit the outside wall coming out of turn 4 that time as well. You have to wonder if the change of the track's temperature is now having an impact on the handling of these cars. It is now 12 laps to go here at Indianapolis. No one seems to want to make a move. The 99 does throw a block to the inside, thinking a move was coming, but it was not. And now they all go back to being nose to tail. Carden Link is only about 2.3 seconds out of the lead, but as they come to the line, it'll be 11 laps to go. There's just not going to be enough time for them to do anything with that here. Nothing happening right now in the field. I will give credit. Carden Link, Gen 3, and Dubs. That trio is slowly closing down on the lead trio, but it will be 10 laps to go when leaders hit the line. I don't know if they will be able to catch this lead trio here, and even if they do, tire wear is still going to may be a bit of an issue. Not a massive one, but maybe enough to keep anything from really happening. But Carden Link has now broken within 2 seconds of the lead group, and BTR Smokey has now pulled out of the event with about 10 laps left. So we are now down to just 10 drivers running at this stage of the event. Turns 1 and 2. It's 10 laps to go this time by. Real quickly, we look at the tire wear of Ghost Reaper. He's at 32%. How bad are his tires going to be at the end? Will they be able to keep Boss Racer Pro behind? Boss Racer has been incredibly aggressive, often to his detriment, but he's got a massive advantage. And then there is the question of Carden Link back there in 4th, who is now only 1.6 seconds out of the lead group. Does Carden Link catch them? He's got Gen 3 with him. Does Carden Link bring Gen 3 up into the fray as well? Down the front straightaway this time by. It's 9 laps to go when they cross the line. We are finally in the final stretch of this race. "13 finally makes a move. He goes to the inside of the 99. The 99 is not really going to put up much of a fight. 13 clears him. Now the 67 looks to the inside of the 99. And he'll complete the move. Carden Link now within 1.5 seconds of the leaders. Carden Link may be able to catch the lead trio, might bring Gen 3 with him as well. But again, even in that scenario, Boss Racer Pro is going to have a massive tire life advantage, and now he is second. He now only has one position to make up in order to take home the victory here. Cross the start-finish line this time by. Laps rapidly winding down. The 67's wide. He hits the outside wall a bit, but the draft is so strong, mistakes like that don't really matter. Karting Link is now within 1.2 seconds of the lead trio. There is a very high likelihood we will see Karting Link catch the lead trio at the start of the next lap, and we could have a 5-way fight to the end here. We're going to go ahead and ride on board here with Karting Link as he tries to run down this lead pack of 3. He's got Gen 3 behind him. We look at Karting Link's tires. He's at 35%, so he was one of the other drivers who decided to pit, and the tire life advantage is definitely working out in his favor. It's taken all day long, but we're finally actually seeing some serious tire strategy play out in this event. Karting Link now within a second of our lead trio. Ghost Reaper leads over Boss Racer. Valhalla runs in third. Karting Link is fourth. Gen 3 hangs out in fifth. Dubs has fallen 6.5 seconds out of the lead. Visible Rocket, 10.5. Lear Art, 17. Black and Snipe Killer were involved in that accident, coming to, well, on the first lap of the restart. While they're not a lap down yet, they have realistically no chance of fighting for the win here, I would imagine. Karting Link now within 0.8 of the lead. He should be close enough to get a draft off of Valhalla going down the straightaways. And with that, that should put him in contention. There will be 6 laps to go at the line. Yeah, Karting Link is now within range. While he's not officially part of that lead pack of 3, he has caught the draft now. The draft typically goes back about 0.7 to 0.8 of a second. And now he has caught them. Boss Racer has good tires, but he's been not really making good use of them by being held up by Valhalla and Ghost, who are on more worn tires. And now Karting Link has caught the group, and so has Gen 3. Turns 3 and 4. And here we are, nose to tail for a top 5, likely for the final time as they come out of the final corner. Move to the inside from the 99. Move to the inside by Boss Racer. Ghost throws the block multiple times there. Now through turns 1 and 2. Nose to tail through 1 and 2 this time by, but how much longer is it gonna last? Ghost Reaper is your leader. He needs to win this, or at least come home second to keep his championship alive. That is the most important thing for him. Big move by the 99, who was trying to block the 5, and the 13 blocked in reaction. Now the 67 is on the outside of the 13. A reminder, the 67 has a massive tire life advantage. He can afford to keep it on the outside line and not be that badly held up. Now the 5 is right there behind the 13 as well. Ghost Reaper is going to be eaten alive by this group. 4 laps to go when they come across the start-finish line this time by. And leading on the outside is Boss Racer. The 5 trying to push the 13 to try to get him ahead of Boss Racer so the 5 can then make the move for the win. The 13 clears everybody in turn 1, still ahead of everyone in turn 2 this time by, but down the back straightaway is where we've seen most of the big moves and big blocks happen. It is still 5 cars in this lead pack. There's a big block by the 13. The 67 not being held up goes right to the outside. Now the 5 looks to the inside again. He commits to it, and the 5 gets into it sideways, and he drifts off, and he's going to lose touch with the lead group now. Karting Link's back out of contention. Now it's back down to a 4-car pack. Gen 3 is now in 3rd position. Boss Racer Pro trapped on the outside. Down the start-finish line once again. It will be 3 laps to go as they come across the start-finish line. Boss Racer on the outside. Ghost Reaper on the inside. Valhalla on the outside in row 2. And you have Gen 3 on the inside. Again, Ghost Reaper clears the entire field as they go through turns 1 and 2. That time, I think Valhalla licked the outside wall that time by. Ghost Reaper comes down, blocks Boss Racer Pro now as they come through turn 2. Onto the back straightaway. Boss, very aggressive. How much of a defense is Ghost going to try and put up? A move from Valhalla back there on Gen 3. Now here comes the move by Boss, but Ghost throws the block. Now here comes the second move. Ghost Reaper throws another block, and now Boss is boxed in behind Ghost. Through turns 3 and 4 again. Top 3 all perfectly nose to tail. Valhalla, his tires may be falling off a bit. He's not right on the tail of the car ahead. Coming down to it will be 2 laps to go this time by. Ghost Reaper still leads. Here comes the move for the 99. Nothing can come of it. The 67 tried to move. The 13 blocked him again. Gen 3 now looks to the outside, but he's not on a good lane. While he's got good tires, the lane is just not good. He kills his momentum coming out of turn number 1, but he's still trying to make it side by side in the fight for third. 99 and that is the 79 side by side for the last spot on the podium. The 67 goes to the inside. Ghost Reaper defends. They go back and forth multiple times, bleed off so much speed in the process. But right now, the 67 can't seem to get back alongside the 13. Through turns 3 and 4, this time by. Is there anything that Boss Racer Pro can do? He's got to run. He looks to the inside, but the 13 slams the door at the last moment. If this keeps happening, I would not be surprised if the 67 dumps the 13 on the final lap. Coming to the white flag here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A run from Valhalla farther back. Now Ghost Reaper goes down. He has to block that run. Around the outside, here comes Boss Racer Pro. Boss to the outside. Ghost to the inside, but Boss is wide. He's terribly wide, but he's still alongside the 13, just barely. Now they go back to being single file. Is there anything that Boss can do? This is their last time going down the back straightaway. The 67 commits to the outside right away. The 13 is going to try and box him in up there. Now he looks to the inside. He swerves. He's trying to block multiple lanes of traffic. Here comes the 99 to the inside. The 99 has a big run on the inside. The 66 is still side by side with the 13. He falls back, and the 99 now clears the 13. One more corner to go. Side by side for second position. The 99 is leading. The 13 gives him a big shove, trying to force him wide. The 13 to the wall! The 67 is into the wall! It was Ghost Reaper who ended up turning the 99, and the checkered flag waves, and it will be Ghost Reaper who keeps his championship hopes alive with a win after dumping the 99 into the 67 on the last lap at the last corner at Indianapolis. Gen 3 comes home with second, Link will be third, Valhalla fourth, Boss Racer Pro fifth, Dub 6th, Visible Rocket will be 7th, 8th will be Lear Art, 9th will be Black, and 10th will be Snipanella. We'll take a Twitch mandated ad break, and when we come back, we'll do interviews with just our top 3 finishers here at Indianapolis. All right, coming into the party, Ghost, can you hear me?
Yep, I got my audio included.
All right, cool. I'm knocking out a Twitch mandated ad break right now. Carding, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
All right, in the Xbox party, there will be a little box that'll say include your audio. Can you go ahead and hit that for me?
Yep, I just did.
All right, cool. Gen 3, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, can you
Wait, Link,
include
did
your
you get
audio
third?
real quick?
I included, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, once this Twitch ad break is over, I'll start post-race interviews.
Oh my
Please try to keep it.
God.
Please try to keep it kind of quick because I should have been asleep 20 minutes ago. So
No, you're all
Yeah,
good.
no.
because I have to go to work at 4 in the morning. So this
No,
is
you're all good, brother.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you
Okay.
good?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our 350-mile race, or 375-mile race, is finally over, and your winner is Ghost Reaper. Ghost, you've kept your championship hopes alive, but that finish is definitely going to bring some controversy. Probably going to be looked at by stewards later. What is your defense after the moves that were made in the last laps there?
Yeah, I saw some questions in the chat about me hooking somebody to win, but I didn't touch anybody. Valhalla got hooked on Boss and wrecked himself into the wall with Boss. I mean, I wasn't even near him at that point. He was about a half car in front of me, so had nothing to do with that. It was just luck of the draw after he got involved in that accident.
Well, you're still second in points. This will open up your gap over third and fourth, but also your win here, coupled with Taze not being able to show up, technically you're still within championship contention, I believe, going into the season finale in a week's time. Do you think you have a shot at stealing the championship from Taze at Sunset?
If he gets dead last, yeah. That's about it.
All right, well, I appreciate the blunt honesty. Is there anything else you want to say real quickly before we wrap this up tonight?
No, just thank you for streaming.
All right, that's the word from Ghost Reaper. And now I want to go ahead and talk with our second place finisher, Gen 3. Gen, very, very strong time. You qualified in the bottom half of the field and still came home to a solid podium result. What do you have to say about your run out there today?
I'm gonna be honest. This is probably the first top 5 I ever had in my first league, probably in this league itself. Because I know from PPRL, from Weather Tag, all the other leagues I've been in, I've never been this far from anything else. So honestly, this is actually a really good spot for me to finish in. Honestly, if I would have had a little more better strategy on Reaper from his blocking, which Reaper, that's a good move. I like that one. Yeah, I'm feeling I'm great. I'll take second. Winning is best, but I'll take second place, honestly. But I feel, I don't even know what to describe.
All right, well, you got some good momentum here. Sunset's in a week. That will wrap up the season. Do you think you can carry the positive momentum to another podium result at Sunset?
Hopefully. Yeah, I'll say this. The number 79 Sonic Chevy did pretty decently. So we're going to see how the throwback car will do next week.
All right, well, good luck out there, mate. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us. And now I want to talk with our pole sitter, a guy who led so many laps today, but just was in the wrong place at the wrong time in the final few laps and had a big slide. Recovered to third, but Karting Link, what do you have to say about your run out there today?
Man, today was that was a crazy race. Just that whole race, I mean, I've went from last back to first. It's just been almost a constant battle the whole time. Everyone, kept it clean as much as they could. At the end there, I just made a silly move. I didn't think we were 3 wide, but we were, so I couldn't do anything about it. But I'm surprised I got third. Just Valhalla and Boss got tangled up, so I'm glad to take third.
All right. It was a pretty solid run out there. One more race left in the season. That will be at Sunset. Do you think you can get another podium at Sunset to wrap off the season?
I hope so. I mean, I'm fairly good at Sunset. Just another super speedway. I got my tricks, so we'll see.
All right, well, that's the word from Karting Link, and that is your word from our top 3 finishers, our podium finishers here at Indianapolis after a exceedingly long race at Indy. And now I just have to ask you guys one question before you all leave. You guys know you're only running like 505 horses with this package, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why in the world can the people in this series not keep the cars straight? You've literally all the skill has been taken out of the cars. Why in the devil are you guys constantly wrecking all the time in these cars? I don't get it. I'm not saying everyone should be equally fast. I understand some people are going to be fast, some people are going to be slow. But why in the devil are you always constantly wrecking in these cars when you are this down on power?
It's a good question.
It's
Honestly,
really,
no. Honestly,
you'd have to ask Boss Racer. You'd have to get him in there. And he'd be a really good candidate for that.
I'll put myself in this
and
too.
PRG Black.
I'll say this too. I'll put myself in it too. Half of the people don't even know how to hold their lines. Literally. I mean, I'll put myself in there too. I'm sure Link and Ghost can probably agree to it as well. I mean, I have here and there great lines and all that, especially from, what was it, Link? Almost 10 lives ago? You and I literally just holding on to it.
So
that was probably the
fast.
best time that we actually... Different teams, Well, you're in a team. I'm not in a team, so that really helped. Worked
I ain't
out
even
pretty
in a
well.
team. We both
So-
stranglers.
Just to verify, none of you guys think the track's the problem. None of you guys think the car
No.
is the problem.
No,
It's
All
just
definitely driver.
No, it's drivers.
yeah.
The
Alright.
cars are amazing. The track is amazing.
It's
The power
it's
package
ex-
is amazing.
It's
just-
extremely easy to drive.
Yeah, so easy. Just drivers just making stupid passes, and if you were in their position and looking at it, you'd be like, yes, I could make that pass. But then whenever you're 3 wide, and then you have people coming down and people going up, and it's just a whole mess of people not knowing what other people are doing, and that's why wrecks happen. So
Honestly, I'm just gonna say this with my spot. I'm just turning left for Biff. I'll say that. I'm gonna copy Cletus's line. That right there, I kind of did it for Biff, and also I did it for my dad. It's myself because there's a reason why that number 79 is on that car.
All right, so
There is a reason.
I'll just ask one more question, and then I will probably let you all go. Do you guys think that potentially, if the rules were changed at all, in any way, do you think that would help you guys get through these races faster? I'll just throw this out there. This was going to be a long race. One way or another. 375 miles at Indy, 150 laps. That's going to be long. And these cars, like, you're only going 50 seconds a lap. You know, you're so choked down on power that I don't even think you guys were breaking 185 without the draft. It's going to be a long race there regardless. But do you think...
There was times I hit like at least 183, and I was shocked. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
Do you think that if the rules were different in any way, and I don't know what rules, I'm not that familiar with how SJM is doing it. This is more of a question I'm passing you guys so you guys can pass it to the rest of you guys, to the rest of everybody. Do you think that if there was some kind of difference in the rules, it would actually encourage the drivers to be faster? Because not just faster, but more consistent and actually take some time to practice and learn how to get better. Because I've seen a lot of you guys before. And a lot of you guys have these flashes of talent. I've seen moments of brilliance. I've seen moments where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did it. The last 10 laps, Gen 3 and karting, you two hooked up and you were just gone. Ghost, you were on cooked out tires and you still held on there to the end. And there were plenty of other moments like that throughout the race from other people as well. I see flashes of brilliance in the people here, but you guys never seem to be able to hold it together. Do you think there's maybe a possible change in any of the rules that might be able to get you guys to hone in and really sharpen those skills of yours? Because you guys have skills, but you never seem to actually be able to use them over the course of these full races.
Usually, for me anyway, I feel like the lack of other drivers starts to get in the way
Lack
of
of
me.
brain cells.
Like, the people get in front of me, make a dumb move, and slows me down. I'm not saying I don't make dumb moves. I do. Everyone does it every now and then. But I think it's just strictly drivers' skill levels, because I don't think everybody's, up to par to what they should be.
And that's why if there would have been no cautions that whole race, and at the start when me and Ghost just got off to a demanding lead, we would have lapped the entire field. It's just because me and Ghost are so consistent and so clean with our lines, unlike other people, it's hard to get those laps down, and that's not really a rule that you could change to fix that.
It's people are very impatient also, and that's a big part of it. Pushing 3 wide on lap 1 or 2 or whatever the hell it was. Like stupid stuff like that. You got 150 laps to go and you're pushing 3 wide already. Like,
I'll even admit myself as well. I mean, I can be impatient too whenever it comes to racing like this, especially with almost what we had like 18 people in. Yeah, literally, like the last 5 laps, my heart was pounding. Like I'm getting a little impatient. Like, can't this race be done already? But
Well,
it's all over now.
I will go ahead and say this. I know the season's almost over, and I'm probably not going to be sticking around with SJM because this is not practical. I should be asleep, but I really want to say these things to the people here before I leave you guys and leave the Discord server and all this, okay? There were 3 different people I talked with who left earlier in the event. Several of them were like, yeah, I left because I could not reason staying up this much later, okay? I would not have been as miffed over this event as a whole if the race was shorter and all the chaos was done and over with earlier. Even you're saying, hey, let's get this race done. maybe in the future when you guys are doing more NASCAR stuff or anything in general, don't
I gotta go.
try to
I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, don't try to make 3 hours or 2.5 hour long races the default. Okay, that's it. I have nothing else to say. Ghost, Cardian, unless you have anything else to say, we'll wrap up the broadcast here.
Nope, nothing
good.
All right. I have been your host for today's broadcast, Insanely Year 13. This has been the SJM NASCAR series. In a week time, I believe it will go back to Dr. Ice, who will be the primary broadcaster for this series, and he will cover the season finale at Sunset Peninsula. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I have nothing else to say. Farewell, goodbye, get some sleep, and hopefully you all are able to wake up in time for work in the morning, or school in the morning if you're on the younger side of things. Farewell, and goodbye, everyone.